in last 2 to 3 weeks, we are seeing our own young people uh, in 20s, in 29s, just leaving us. We are seeing our mothers, uh, our relations, our families getting wiped. But in this tragedy, in this situation, the way the whole global community is coming together, that gives me, that gladdens our heart. ये जो आज की मीटिंग है, इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि सारी कम्युनिटी एकजुट होके क्या कर रही है, क्या हो रहा है, ग्राउंड पे क्या हो रहा है, इसके बारे में हमारे सारी कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स को ज्ञान होना चाहिए. Global Kashmiri Pandit diaspora was never into social things. It was into political activism. But keeping in view this whole tsunami, we had to jump in. Our volunteers had to jump in and work with all other organizations in a very coordinated effort to bring in some tangible change and save lives. यहाँ पे मैं I will restrict using Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora because we never claim it to be an organization. It is a civil society movement. But the way other organizations are coming up, the way Indian organizations are coming up, the way Indian community is standing up is phenomenal. Under these situations, we have seen lots of heroes in the form of volunteers working day and night in almost all cities. That gladdens our heart. Now, I know we have lots of speakers and we want it to be that way. And our today's speakers are representatives of Sabas, representatives of organizations. I don't know why there's an echo. Volunteers. And you will get to know that everyone is coordinating its efforts. So it may get delayed. The meeting will go on. Let everyone speak. But my only request is please don't repeat yourself. Be brief and let everyone keep on sharing some information that you have access to. What I will briefly say that, as Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora, the very first meeting that we had called, keeping in view what is coming our way, was the meeting of the similar kind of Sabas representatives and where we had Sabas, volunteers, think tank, and also members of Kashmiri KMECT. KMECT has come in a big way. In all these decades, the way they have been doing things, we really feel proud. In that moment, we wanted that in this situation, KMECT should take a big role of coordination. But we could understand their point of view also, because the reputation they have earned over the last several decades, they didn't want to enter into a zone where that reputation could have misfired. So we give it to them. And also in this hour of crisis, they are also doing a lot that initially they said that we will not be able to do, but I see that they're distributing concentrators, they're doing kits and all that stuff. That is very laudable. So coming to the point, I will try to be brief. Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora worked with many organizations, especially in US, Kashmiri Overseas Association, who has been doing a phenomenal job over last several decades in those social areas. And we also, because we don't have an account number, we don't have nothing, because we have been in political activism, we thought that we got to do something. Our volunteers said that we cannot sit on it and we have to do something very, very important and urgent. So we gave an internal call to GKPD members. Hey, we need donation. We want to bring in, we identified the vendor for oxygen concentrators. We identified the logistics people in collaboration with KOA. And we as GKPD gave a call for donations. And you will be glad to know that in 24 hours, we were able to raise almost $85,000 US dollars in 24 hours. And we used this money along with, we hand it over to KOA. You please go ahead. We have identified vendor, and we have this thing that we need to get oxygen concentrators right now, right away. And not only that, we gave a call in India to our community in India. You know, there has been always this notion that Indian Kashmiris in India, they don't support, they don't contribute. But we have proved that wrong. We appeal to our community in India through Kashab Seva Foundation, who agreed to work with us in this humanitarian crisis. And we got pledges. In 3 days, we got pledges worth 30 lakh Indian rupees. These are pledges. Please, I'm giving you numbers. I know we have representatives of Kashab Seva Foundation who will give you the clear picture and how they are working. And this moment was the moment of pride amidst all this what is happening. Today, we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate to have a legendary person amongst us who has served the community in multiple capacities as an eminent physician, as a scholar, as a writer, and as a community leader. And he has not been himself doing well. And I want to inform all of us that all these concentrators, we had initially booked 131. We had initially booked 150. And 100, out of which the vendor gave us 131 concentrators. And then we also additionally sent 41 concentrators, making it total of 171 concentrators. And when I say we, that is in collaboration with Kashmiri Overseas Association. And I want to inform you, as we are speaking, this whole shipment is being cleared by the customs, and it will be moving onwards towards all areas where we'll be talking about where they will be going, who will be the contact people, who should community contact, and the help is out on way. Our apologies. I wish that this help had reached to its so that we could have saved some lives. But because of all logistic constraints, because of all problems that we are going, that it took some time. For that, I would like to apologize to the community on behalf of all those volunteers who have been worried for our community members back home. On that note, I would like to bring in none, the only one, the leader, the scholar, the physician, who has worked immensely for the community, and the right person to flag off this humanitarian help, the relief, with a prayer that as a physician, may it heal the person who uses it. On this note, Dr. K.L. Chaudhary Sahab, we are very thankful for your contributions, what you have been doing for our community over the years. May God bless you. You are yourself not well, and you are coming at this time. This means a lot for the community. Dr. Sahab, floor is yours. Over to you. Namaskar.
Namaskar, all of you, and thank you very much for inviting me to be here. My heart really swells with pride, and I'm filled with joy today. Because in this unprecedented humanitarian crisis, to see how our community across continents and countries, across towns and metropolises of India, have stood up and united as never before to face a crisis which has engulfed the whole world, what we call doom, gloom, and darkness. But now I see a ray of light, a shaft of hope, and a beam of life. We are so happy that almost everyone of our community, in spite of the fact that we are in a wide diaspora, and we all know that this pandemic, this coronavirus, irrespective of age and other things, but it hits the people who are deprived, it hits them most. The people who are displaced or who, like us, are refugees in our own country. But to see that this diaspora spread over hundreds of states over the world has stood up today as one, that there are individuals, organizations, and groups like Global GKPD, like your Kashab Seva Foundation, KOA, and numerous other groups who have come together. In fact, there are hundreds of people who are working individually. I see helper groups almost being formed every day. I get emails and WhatsApp messages of people who want to do something, who are giving me suggestions, we want to do this. This is almost, I find every Kashmiri Pandit has become what I call a Corona warrior. We are all warriors. It is such a joy to see how we are united as never before. Now, it's mind-boggling how fast this relief operation has been put into place. I call it relief and rescue operation. I'm supposed to flag off a relief and logistics operation, but this is a relief and rescue. Yes, we are going to rescue our community. We won't let more people die. We have already lost, almost each one of us has lost a loved one. And every day we hear the same thing. We see the papers filled with homages to people who have lost their battle against corona. But we have to stop it somewhere. And I see that there are signs that we are going to do it. If within 24 hours you could gather about 100,000 US dollars and another 24 hours of about 30 lakh Indian rupees, that shows the unprecedented support, unstinted support that you have got from your community. After all, we are people who are known for charity, and charity begins at home. If we can't be charitable to our own people, we can't be charitable to the rest. But we have that thousands of years of legacy. As I often repeat, the first thing we do in the morning is scatter grain to the birds. The first thing we do before eating ourselves is to have a special human for the dog. And we never let a person who comes to our door for help, we don't let him go empty-handed. We are that people, and we are proving it again and again and again. So to put this, it is mind-boggling to me that how with limited human resources, all of you who are here gathered and those who are not, have sort of conceived this whole rescue operation and strategized it, planned it, and put it into operation in such a, I think it was just a week or 10 days when this thing started. So that really is staggering. And that's why I feel so filled with pride that we can do things if we want to, and we all want to do it. And the logistics, how that has been worked out, I know you will hear much more about it. But it is surprising that almost every city and major town in India is covered under it. That means the shipments which are already on the way. Now, Surendraji told us there are nearly 200 oxygen concentrators and other equipment that is on the way, and how that will be received, how that will go to the locations, and who are the people who are going to receive it. And then each of these being delivered to the right people, to the right, even to the doors of people. I know that in my small way, our Shri Bhatt Hospital, we deliver medicines to people at their homes. We have been doing it for 30 years. And our people are distributing oxygen concentrators. Whatever we have very limited. Oxygen cylinders. That's important. And then also, I am informed that there will be hands-on training, because I know lots of these things are people don't know how to use it. They don't know how to regulate the flow of oxygen through the cylinder. Even if you have not seen it before, you will also not know it, but it needs training. Similarly, oxygen concentrators, many people don't know it. If you have hands-on training of all these people, I think that's very important. It was very tragic to see, if you watch the TVs and other places, that under PM COVID Relief Fund last year, when the COVID started, people, different institutions asked for ventilators. And those ventilators are still lying, eating dust in hospitals, in institutions, in our own government medical college, Jammu, because there are no skilled manpower to use them. They didn't have the idea that why.
Doctor, we are not able to hear you. Can you repeat? So much you mute.
No, he's not. Actually,
He's
he's not.
not. We are not able to hear you, doctor.
Okay, no, there was somebody
Yes.
trying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it really breaks our heart that there are these things, gadgets are there in place, but people don't know how to use them. And when you tell me that now you will have hands-on training of these people, that's very important. People should know how to regulate the oxygen flow. They should know how to use the oxygen concentrator. They should know how to use the mask. Many people even don't know how to use the mask. So that's very important, and I am so glad that you are going to do that, or it has already been this hands-on training has already been given to people. But we can always help. As I told you, there are hundreds of people who don't know how to use all these things, and I am glad that these concentrators will at least deliver, as I am made to aware, that at least deliver 8 liters, 6 to 8 liters per minute. And that's very good. That is a very sort of that buys you time for people to sort of straighten out. And very few people should now have to take resort to going to the hospital. So with this, I feel honored to bless this, to flag off this operation. As I told you, this is relief and rescue. Let no more people die. And let us see what more we can do. There is a lot to do. This is just one of the things. And once we conquer Corona, Bhagavan Sin Meherbani Sitan Varakare, we should conquer Corona. We should not have more people to die. And there is nothing, the world is yours, the stage is yours. And I am so happy that you are joining hands with other Indian groups to let the people know that we are not selfish. We are not only for ourselves. We are for the whole community. The whole world is one family, and we belong to that family. We belong to that family of human beings who want to help. So with that, I bless you. It was my prayer that this will be 100% success, and that there will be more, much more, many more. I feel so happy to be talking to you. I am here because of your prayers. I was on the brink, but I am back. And I hope to bless you again and again and again. God bless all of you. I'm so glad today.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Maradok sir. It's an honor for us. It's an honor for our community that you speaking to us at this moment when we are looking for guidance and help and support. That means a lot. Thank
I'll
you
be
once again, Doctor.
always there, Surendraji. I will never
Thank,
share.
thank you so much.
So
God
long
bless
as
you with good health. Yeah. We
God
want to
bless you.
see you again and again guiding us.
Yes, sure.
Okay, on this note, we'll have lots of information that will be coming on to you, to the common community people about the logistics, who is having these concentrators, who to contact. This will come on. So I want to clarify, when I said in 24 hours call, we raised 85 to $90,000, leave that dollar amount aside. But what I want to convey that the community in UK, the community in New Zealand, the community in Australia, the community in Germany, our donors from Indonesia, our donors from Canada, our donors, all South Africa, you name it. And that I just wanted to clarify. So that gladdens our heart how the community came together. Thank you so much, all communities, our communities in UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I may be missing so many countries, and India, of course. So on this note, let us move to the next speaker. I know we have another person, a very eminent person who has been silently working towards community for many decades, and he's amongst us. I know he has to leave early to has an important assignment. So Moti Kolji, you have been always guiding person us over the decades. I would like to pass on the floor to you. Please share your thoughts. Go ahead.
Thank you, Surendraji. I think, first of all, I was immensely pleased to see my dearest and dearest Dr. K.L. Chaudhary ji today. And I can't tell you, how much happy I am in having seen him virtually in person. So thank you all for doing this. And it's a great thing for me, at least. Since there are going to be so many speakers, I'll just touch on few things which I find, which I have been noticing. One is, of course, what we know all about COVID, so I don't have to repeat. We have gone through the hell last 1.5 months, and all of us are aware of it. And it has been so pathetic that no one could know how to go about it. There could be many reasons, right, left, and center, but I think it was something unexpected and totally, without any comprehension in mind. I think what was very redeeming, I think I must convey with a lot of responsibility, that GKPD rose to the occasion and rose it so well. Even I was, for a moment, though I've been part of all of you now since inception, but I was myself not sure as to how this whole exercise, because this was not our forte in the past. Our forte was something different. We were working on genocide and various other things, which are very important at that time, even they are today. But this new challenge which it brought, and you seized this challenge, and the volunteers across the globe and the friends, whether it is an organization-wise, KOA and others, as well as the individuals. I think we proved one thing today, Surendraji and everybody, I must say, at least please let us stop saying one thing in future, that we are not united. I think I have never liked this word in past, but today we at least let us reinforce ourselves we are. This could have not happened, let us understand, if we were not united. If we still see we are not united, then we are somewhere pulling ourselves, and we are unnecessarily dragging things, and we are telling to the world that we are not, and that's not fair. When the need was there, when we were demanded, I think we all rose, and we rose so well. So GKPD, I mean, definitely the whole community is looking at you, because I think the way you people, we all rather have got into it and changed the whole narrative in terms of something new, shows that we have a lot of metal with us, and we can definitely deliver whenever the community gives us any challenge whatsoever. Now, two things are important for me at the moment. One is, friends, as far as India is concerned, pandemic, COVID is not over at all. So we are still in the thick of it. There are a lot of challenges still. NCR has been the worst which has been in the past. And I must tell you, I mean, the reports show that Jammu and Kashmir is going to be another very hot spot. So we have to be on the watch, and we have to be sure as to what we can do in the days to come and do it effectively. One thing which has till now, which has been already proved, is that we can create a logistics of such nature. When we had nothing, we didn't know how to go about it, how to bring things. Money was one part, as Surinder rightly said, but there were so many impediments, other things which were part of bringing it here. And today we are so glad that, I mean, when we talk about 200 concentrators, let's understand it's a big number itself, because 200 concentrators coming together is something good. Now, there is one challenge which I'm sure we'll be hearing from other speakers, and they will give us the whole scenario of it. But the challenge which will remain is that these very concentrators and cylinders reach to the proper destinations where we are supposed to be doing. And we do receive their reports, those persons, those individuals, those organizations who will get it, we receive their reports as to how they are utilizing it, so that is what can be a refeeding to our community, to our donors, to our entire thing, that how we are not only transparent, how we are professionally managing. See, transparency is one thing, yes, that is definitely there, but how professionally we, all Kashmiri Pandits across the globe who are known in their professions, we have done so well individually, how we can conduct ourselves in this time of challenge, that's going to be something. So I think for me, I think today's flag off, it's been a great thing. I think everybody, and I wish you all the best. I wish myself all the best, that we really succeed in this and remain ready for any other challenge, which is going to be probably in the days to come, because Jammu is going to be another holdback. Thank you.
Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Motiji. Actually, this meeting was to be held along with KOA representatives also, but it got deferred on several occasions because of scheduling conflict. So there was some confusions on the ground, that people thought that the shipment has been received, and we don't know what has happened to them. Sabas are not telling us they have already distributed. So there was some sort of rumor mongering going on. So we had to kick in this meeting at the earliest to halt those rumors. So, in between, I'll be naming some people who have been involved. We are immensely thankful to Dr. Nirmal Mattu from US, through whose efforts we are getting these concentrators. He is the person who arranged this vendor under this situation when every concentrator is not available and everybody is keeping an eye on every concentrator. He secured this bulk concentrators, and I wanted to correct the figures right now. It is 171 concentrators, but we have made provisions from additional if required in hundreds. That is correct. Also, we are thankful to Vitasta Hospital. All these consignment, because of the logistics, the Vitasta Hospital being a not-for-profit NGO came forward and became the recipient of this shipment that will be going all over India. Thank you, Vitasta Hospital. Thank you, the administrators of that hospital, for stepping in and helping the community at this hour of need. We are thankful to Ashish Kachru. Ashish Kachru is a zonal director of KOA, and he has been responsible for the shipping. And this shipment coordination with FedEx, coordination with DHL, coordination with it. It's a lot of time and paperwork. And we should thank to him for all this successfully doing. We are thankful to Virendraji, who is in front of us, who will be speaking in a moment, who took upon himself to clear this from the customs and distribute it all over India. These are our heroes. These are the people. There are so many unsung heroes. I will be doing injustice by not, by naming few people and leaving people aside. I see Nymphia Saraf, who is in this panel, who has been working day and night for last 2-3 weeks. I get so worried about her. I see Rajan Nakasi, I see Ms. Pandita. There are so many volunteers working on the ground. We have Rakesh Kaul ji from the USA, who has been spending his hours and hours. Of course, we as volunteers, we are used to it, but these are the names that I just wanted to come to my mind. But there are many others. I will be just going on and on with that. At this note, I will get an important speaker who will showcase about the logistics. And this logistics has been created in collaboration with KOA with the objective that these oxygen concentrators, along with the transformers, along with the nasal cannula and everything, reaches out to pan India. So I will request at this time our international coordinator Nija Kol Sadhuji to step in and speak and also give the distribution of these oxygen concentrators, because this document is going to be public and we want every community member to know whom to contact, whom to reach out when they are in this in the hour of need. Over to you,
Sure.
Nirja ji.
Thank you, Surinder ji, and सारनी शुमैन तरफ नमस्कार. सुरेंद्र जी ने काफी कुछ पहले कह दिया. डॉक्टर चौधरी ने बहुत कुछ कहा जो हमारे लिए इंस्पिरेशन है. So I feel very humbled and very honored to share this conference room with these community volunteers and Moti ji, of course. I will speak about the list of these oxygen concentrators, where they are going and who is getting what. But before that, I want to say a few words and kind of take it on from what Surinder ji said, that our community has really come forward with their open hearts and open wallets. The amount of love and amount of trust they have entrusted in us is immense, and I must assure each and every one of you and those donors that your money has gone to the right places. As of today, I know, because I attend this, we do this meeting every single day in the morning. I know that each and every penny from that fundraiser that we had, where all our Indian community put their money in, it's all been distributed. No money is being held up. Everything is being distributed in time, because we know this calamity is too big to sit upon money and not use it where it needs to be. So thank you to all those donors from me personally, on behalf of GKPD and KSF and all other organizations that are here today. Now, another part of the fundraiser that I'm going to mention here, before I say the names of the beneficiaries, we have launched another fundraiser yesterday. Again, I would request everybody, जीजन तो यथाशक्ति किंचन परवाय 10 रुपये 7 रुपये जो आपके श्रद्धा है उसमें डाल दीजिए. ये अमाउंट हम आपको हर एक चीज का we are going to be very open with all of you. Just contribute to it. Another part of this fundraiser that we created yesterday is going to be on 29th, wherein we are going to have a fundraiser event. Yatmansan Varya Nami Garami Lukasan, singers, artists, some from our community, some from the main Hindi cinema. बहुत बड़ा event है. So plan Karun, thanks to Pallavi ji, Vivek ji, Anupam ji, who are going to be part of it. I would also request each and everybody, please, please, please contribute to that. And you will see that mission chuson न सिर्फ पन्नन लुकन पन्नी कम्युनिटी खतर मगर सर्ची हिंदुस्तान खतर हमारे देश के लिए हमारे भारत के लिए क्योंकि we are also part of that and this is our time to show them that we are with you. Kashmiri community who has always been craving for their love, we have that love for them. So thank you for listening. So I'll come to the main part now that Suranji has put me for. So the beneficiary names that I have here is Vitasta Hospital Care Trust in Jammu. They're getting 10 machines. Global Solace Jagti Camp Nagrota, they're getting.
Nijaji,
Sorry,
sorry to
10.
interject.
Yeah.
Sorry, can
Yeah.
you read the top section of the letter that I shared with you?
Okay, hold
So
on.
that everybody knows, because that is going to become public after this meeting.
Of course. Kashmiri Overseas Association of USA, that's KOA, in collaboration with GKPD, is providing the below oxygen concentration machines to various locations in India at no cost to patient or beneficiary. The machines will not be used for any commercial purpose or for resale or now or not in future. The machines will continue to be the property of KOA and GKPD and will be used for future charitable purposes by the listed organizations or any other organization chosen by KOA in collaboration with its partner, GKPD. This whole thing is going to be shared right after this meeting on our platforms. So I'll just read the beneficiary name and the units they are going to receive, and then we'll share this whole document with you right after this meeting. So Vitasta Hospital Care Trust Jammu and Jagti Camp Nagrota, they have 10 each. Global Solace Jagti Camp and Nagrota, they have 5 units. KP Volunteers Jammu, 5 units. Mahagayatri Seva Sanstha, Ardharatri Maharagna Seva Sanstha, 5 units. Kashmiri Pandit Sabha Ghaziabad, 5 units. Kashmiri Welfare Society Ghaziabad, 5 units. KSS Kashmiri Seva Samaj Faridabad, 5 units. KMECT, 5 units. KP's Helping Hands, 5 units. Bhagwan Gopinathji Ashram Bangalore, 5 units. Kashmiri Hindu Sabha Telangana Hyderabad, 5 units. Shreya Bhatt Mission Hospital and Research Center, 3 units. Sharika Volunteers Ghaziabad, 3 units. Kashab Kashmir Sabha, 10 units. Jammu Kashmir Vichar Manch, 9 units. Kashmiri Migrant Welfare Association Noida, 9 units. Satyanand Hospital Multi-Speciality in Pune, 5 units. Kashmiri Hindu Cultural Welfare Trust, 9 units. Kashmiri Vistapit Hindu Samiti Jaipur, 3 units. Kashmiri Pandits Association Mumbai, 5 units. Kashmiri Sahayak Sabha Chandigarh, 5 units. That's the list for now, and I'm sure Surendraji, as he mentioned, there'll be more if need be. We'll communicate with you as and when that happens. So thank you, Namaskar. Thank you, Surendraji.
Thank you, Neerja-ji. Thank you so much for this. We are going to make this document public.
Yeah.
You know, these are 131 units. So we have 40 more additional units that KOA and will be trying to see where it should go. In next couple of days, or maybe today, we'll get a heads up on that. So we'll reach out to you in real time and let you know. So on this note, let us move forwards. And at this note, I want to bring in a representative from Kashab Seva Foundation. I don't know if Siddharji, I don't see him, but I know I see Sanjay Ganjuji. I would request you, Sanjay ji, if you could tell us something about Kashmir, this Kashab Seva Foundation, what it is, what it has been doing, and how come, how things have shaped up, what is happening, and how the money is being used. If you have information on that, floor is yours,
Yeah, I
Sanjay
think
ji.
Siddharth would have been the right person, but anyway, whatever I know, because I was myself suffering from COVID and I lost my mother during these days. So actually, we were planning to set up some type of facility. We were talking with Kamalji that time, who was more than willing to help, and also Dr. Ashwini. Ashwini ji in Shalimar Garden. He was also more than, though he was himself a COVID patient, he was willing to support to set up a facility, but unfortunately we didn't have the necessary equipment that time to set it up, uh, and then I got infected. But meanwhile, Surinder ji was kind enough to immediately take the lead, and he mobilized all GKPD members and other Kashmiri organizations in India for creating some sort of support structure, which definitely worked. And one issue was that how it can be facilitated into India. So we have this Kashab Seva Foundation, which was set up by ABVP Kashmir activists long ago, almost 12, 13 years. And we were doing some silent, work, some silently giving scholarship to children from our own pocket and from our own resources. So people were not aware about what we were doing, but it was a silent kind of a voluntary work, which we have been doing since last 12, 13 years. So Surinder ji talked to us and he said, if you can, facilitate this. Utpal ji also spoke with. So I said, though we are not that big and we may not be compliant as far as, ATG, 12A and other things are concerned, but we will rise to the occasion. Whatever you tell us, we will handle it. So immediately my colleagues, including Ajay Bharti ji, the trustees of the, Kashab Seva Foundation, Siddharth, Vinod Razdan, Parikshit, Sanjay Kachru. So everybody immediately jumped into it and said, we will handle it. But we decided that we should, not be seen as only a facilitating and receiving organization. We have to contribute some money from our pocket. Though this year we have ourselves contributed 3-4 times to different causes, but I said, whatever we have done in the past, that let us forget about it, but at least for this thing we should not be seen only as a receiving organization. So everybody from his pocket, whatever he could do, so that basically uh, sorry, there was a call. Sorry, there was a call. So immediately we went into the action. Though I was not able to, contribute in terms of, whatever work went into it. So Siddharth, Manoj, Ban, Vinod Razdan, Ajay ji, they were all, working with closely with GKPD. Every day the meetings were held, and whatever was decided, that was executed. So they are still working on it, and I think till now 20 lakh few thousand has come into the account, and as Nirja ji rightly said, almost all the money has is all either spent or committed. So by tomorrow, I think there will be almost zero balance. So we did not hold any money. There are some commitments maybe to in terms of receivables also, but that will also be spent over a period of time. And my suggestion, I spoke to Surinder ji and also my other trustees, board of trustees of Kashab Seva. Now whatever money if we receive, that should be kept for those cases who have suffered and who may have economic challenges, those who have lost their dear ones. I think we should support such cases now. So I think this is what we have been doing. But Siddharth and Vinod, had they been in the conference, they would have been able to share more details. I think the supplies have already started coming in terms of concentrators and oxygen cylinders. So I think things will be in place in a couple of days. So whatever responsibility Kashab Seva Foundation is given, we will definitely try to execute that. We will try to contribute to that. So I think that is what Surinder ji I could share.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you so much. At this note, I want to bring Veerji Khar from New Zealand. I know it's very, very late and we feel guilty to keep him awake till 3 a.m. But sorry for that, Veerji. Veerji, as an international coordinator of GKPD and also part of Kashab Seva Foundation, would you please walk us through about whatever you have to say in addition to how you are working with Kashab Seva Foundation, how decisions are made, who have been the beneficiaries of this. Because if we are raising money from the community, it is our right to tell them how we are utilizing it, how we'll be utilizing it, and then take it from there. After that, Bhatt Sahab, you be ready. You will be the next speaker after VG.
Okay, namaskar everyone. So we were basically given one of the, I'll say, easiest tasks, that was to spend the money. A fantastic team of Kashab Seva Foundation. It was a pleasure to work with these guys. And with our team of Utpal ji, Shafalika ji, Kashi ji, and Nirja ji. So what we have done in last, basically, as soon as we were given this task, we took about 7 to 8 days to distribute the money. And what we did is, whatever feed we were receiving from the field, we were acting, the decisions were made very promptly. And I will just run through what we did. Basically, we immediately first got 200 kits, COVID kits, and sent them to different destinations. Then we got 50 vaporizers, 100 PPE kits. Then we also spread the word that if anybody needs cash support for cremation, food, or medicine, we can quietly disperse those things. Then we ordered some extra bigger size concentrators. Then N95 masks were purchased, thermometers were purchased, and we started then looking at rejuvenating our existing sabhas and samitis all across. So based on the feedback again that we were getting, we gave KMECT 1 lakh rupees. There's a Kakni Foundation in Faridabad who had been doing wonderful job. We gave them 1 lakh. There was one Matamal Nalini Moti Sadhu who was distributing food in various under various programs. We gave her 50,000. Then Nandlal Hospital in East Delhi, 1.5 lakhs. Seva Dal, which has been very helpful in undertaking some cremations. There may be some errors because if somebody is, I see somebody shaking head, but I am not sure whether destination has been achieved or not. But anyway, then Noida and Bethesda, Bethesda Hospital and Noida Sabha, what is it called? Kashmir Welfare Association. 1 lakh each. Again, we have had some banking issues. The decisions have been made, the checks have been delivered, but maybe there are some banking issues. The final destination has not happened. In case of Noida, I am aware. Then there is a food being supplied in Jammu to particularly those elderly people whose children are not there. So 20,000 distributed to, handed over to Rakesh Bhatt. Then we went for another purchase of flow meters and sanitizers worth 25,000 rupees, and it was sent to Ajay Rana in Jammu. Then there was one urgent need of relief for Mr. Surinder Kumar Bhatt. 25,000 rupees were handed over. Then we purchased some bigger size oxygen cylinders. Then Sanjeevani Sharda Kendra was given 1 lakh rupees for ambulance purpose in Jammu. Then Faridabad Sabha was given 1 lakh rupees. Shreya Bhatt Mission 50,000 rupees. And looking at how things are happening on ground, new consignment of concentrators, we would be distributing 5 more to Shreya Bhatt, 5 more to Helpline Humanity, and 5 to Sharda Kendra. The aim is further on that we are gearing for after COVID impacts. We may be needing lots and lots of money where people have been put in a very precarious position, or people who will be in need, particularly children. So for that, we will be gearing big way for more contributions. Now, one thing which was very heartening was KPA Mumbai, which is the first association which donated back to GKPD KSF mission. So they have promised us 1 lakh rupees. I hope that will be delivered pretty soon. Now today, our last kitty was emptied, and that was a donation of 51,000 will be made to Panam Kashmir. So the whole aim of this mission was to reach out far and wide, and wherever we got an appeal for any request, we delivered. We would have multiplied every donation by 10 times, but this is what we had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Veerji. Thank you, Veerji. I know in this process, there will be errors, but the way you are working and taking decisions within minutes, that is really very appreciative. And what likes me, that you have spent 20 lakh rupees in just 1 week, that gladdens my heart. And balance is zero. That is what it has to be. We will raise funds. We will take decisions. We'll see it's not 1990s. We will take care. We all, when I say I don't mean GKPD, we said that community will take care of this whole thing. And be assured that money will keep flowing. So thank you so much, Viji, for leading by examples. Thank you once again. On this note, I will request Bhatt Sahab, Ramji. I thank you, Vidasta Hospital, for being the recipient, for taking this huge responsibility on your shoulders. We are really indebted. So floor is yours, but kindly be a little brief so that everybody gets a chance to speak. Rakeshji, you be ready next for after Ramji.
Thank you. Sarni chu meon gulzigandit namaskar. Gwanyat chu me sari khod gwanyat thanks karun GKPD जिनका एक इतना बढ़िया इनिशिएटिव रहा कि आपने पूरी कम्युनिटी को एक जगह खड़ा करके कुछ अच्छे विचार सोचने के लिए तैयार कर दिया, और कितनी ट्रांसपेरेंसी से ये काम चल रहा है, इसके लिए केएसएफ का भी और जीकेपीडी का मैं अपने वितस्ता परिवार की तरफ से धन्यवाद करता हूं। एंड इसमें जो अभी कुछ शिपमेंट्स आपने वहां से इंडिया भेजने के लिए हम सब लोगों के हेल्थ को केयर करने के लिए, जिसमें खासकर कॉन्सेंट्रेटर्स की बात है, तो इसमें मैं एक दो बातें कहना चाहता हूं कि पहले मैं वितस्ता के बाकी लोगों का भी धन्यवाद इसलिए कर रहा हूं क्योंकि उन्होंने पिछले 16-17 साल में इतना अच्छा काम किया है कि जो भी आपको पेपर वर्क चाहिए था इसको इंडिया लाने के लिए, तो ट्रस्ट के पास वो सारी फॉर्मेलिटीज थी जिसको इस टाइम कम्युनिटी के काम आया और कम्युनिटी ने उसका यूज किया। मैं जब मेरे को ये बात कही गई कि आप वितस्ता की तरफ से क्या आप हमें अपना डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे देंगे ताकि हमें शिपमेंट को लाने में कस्टम क्लियरेंस में बाकी दिक्कतें नहीं होंगी, तो काफी बार हम लोग तो डरते हैं क्योंकि जब इंपोर्ट का मामला आता है तो इसके रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बड़े हार्ड होते हैं। कई बार तो थोड़ा सा मुझे डर भी अपने अंदर लगा कि पगा सोर ये हिसाब किताब अमुक बताउन अत होमवर्क एंड पेपर वर्क, मगर माय स्पेशल थैंक्स गोज टू वीरेंद्र जी जिन्होंने मुझे कहा कि ये करुन, और वीरेंद्र जी ने दिन रात खुद भी और इनके साथ इनके जो अपने टीम में कुछ मेंबर्स हैं, बुझुस दपान तिमो हाउ मच इंटरेस्टेड दे हैव टेकन कि तिमो कोर ये विद इन शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ टाइम कि तिमो कर अम से जितरे चीज अचीव अख गो कि यम अस नेबर पे कंसंट्रेटर्स इंडिया वातन अख बनो अख माध्यम अम खतर यमो वीरेंद्र जी की बदौलत से, और दूसरा इंपॉर्टेंटली एक नया रास्ता हम सब लोगों के लिए आने वाले समय के लिए निकला कि आगे हम बहुत सारी चीजें हेल्थ में या बाकी चीजों में हम आगे ये सोच सकते हैं कि इस रोजन कन्फाइन इट टू इंडियन मार्केट ओनली, we can purchase things from abroad, from any country that can be come to India for to care our own people. So this was a long term issue also, इससे हमारा सेटल हुआ। और वितस्ता के लिए मैं एक बात तो जरूर यहाँ पे बोलना चाहता हूँ, जबकि ये मौका नहीं है पर मुझे एक बात जरूरी आपसे कहनी है कि कई सारे शक शुबा लोग कह रहे और लोगों में अंदर ऐसी सर्कुलेशन भी इस टाइम चल रही है वितस्ता के खिलाफ और वितस्ता के ट्रस्ट के लिए। तो मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं उन लोगों को कि आपको वितस्ता के बारे में समझने की बहुत जरूरत है। आपको अपडेट नहीं है, आपको वितस्ता के बारे में पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है। मैं सबसे अनुरोध करूंगा कि पहले वितस्ता के बारे में, ट्रस्ट के बारे में, इसके मैनेजमेंट के बारे में पूरी सी इंफॉर्मेशन ले ले, तभी हम आगे कुछ बातें करें। और जो शिपमेंट वहां से खासकर जिसमें कॉन्सेंट्रेटर्स आ रहे हैं और आपने वही से इसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया, लेकिन हमें एक बात समझने की जरूरत है कि मैं केओए को, जीकेपीडी को अपनी तरफ से और इंडिया में जितनी भी संस्थाएं जिनको आप ये कॉन्सेंट्रेटर्स भेज रहे हैं उनकी तरफ से आपको शुक्रिया करने के साथ साथ एक बात जरूर कहना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि ये सारी शिपमेंट वहां से जब निकल रही है तो ये वितस्ता के अकाउंट में आ रही है। यानी कि अगर आपने 171 पीसेस वहां से यूनिट्स भेजने हैं या 100 200, तो ये सारे हमारे रिकॉर्ड में आ रहे हैं, पेपर वर्क में, कस्टम में, ये सब हमारे रिकॉर्ड पे आ रहे हैं। आपने देखा कल हम कहीं पे फंसे थे, हमारे पास जीएसटी का एग्जिम्पशन नहीं था, हमने भी यहाँ एफर्ट लगाए, जो पेपर वर्क यहाँ डिपार्टमेंट ने हमें, एक्साइज डिपार्टमेंट ने मांगा ट्रस्ट को वेरीफाई करने के लिए, क्योंकि हमारे पास सब कुछ ट्रांसपेरेंटली है, हमने एकदम उनको वो पेपर वर्क दे दिए और विद इन 24 आवर्स दे हैव गिवन अस दैट सैंक्शन कि हम इस पे कोई इंपोर्ट चार्जेस जो होते हैं वो नहीं लगाएंगे। तो मेरा सबसे 2 चीजों के लिए अनुरोध है। एक अनुरोध मेरा है कि जो सेंडर होगा जहां से ये डिस्पैच हो रहा हमारे के लिए, जिसके लिए हमारे काचरू साहब ने भी बहुत काम किया है, और मैं 2-3 चीजों के लिए डॉक्टर साहब सुरेंद्र जी से पर्सनली भी ये गुजारिश करता हूं, जो भी केओ से बाकी सब लोगों के लिए, कि पहले पेपर वर्क हमारी कंप्लीट होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि मुझे यहां से अथोराइज करना पड़ता है कस्टम क्लियर के लिए दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट से, ये कौन रिसीव कर रहे हैं, हम तो दिल्ली खुद जा नहीं पा रहे हैं। वीरेंद्र जी की बदौलत से वहां कुछ लोग हमारे हैं जो इसके लिए काम कर रहे हैं, हमें उनको अथोराइजेशन देनी होती है यहाँ से ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ वितस्ता ट्रस्ट कि आप हमारे ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ इसको रिसीव करिए। और वहां उसके साथ ही आपने लिस्ट भेजी है कि अगर वहां से 171 यूनिट्स आ रहे हैं, एवरीथिंग शुड बी वेरी क्लियर एंड ट्रांसपेरेंटली। वितस्ता के पास केवल 10 ही यूनिट्स उसमें आ रहे हैं जैसे आप अभी कह रहे हैं, तो बाकी जो 161 यूनिट्स है वो आप ही डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं किसके पास जाने हैं और किसके पास नहीं जाने हैं। तो हमारे अपडेट के लिए एक सेंडर हमें इमीडिएटली मेल किया करेगा कि कितने यूनिट्स यहाँ से डिस्पैच हो रहे हैं, और उसके बाद जिन लोगों को हम ये दे रहे हैं, जो आपने लिस्ट बनाई, उन लोगों से मेरी गुजारिश है वो एक रिसीविंग बना के वितस्ता को दे दे कि हमने आपसे ये 10 यूनिट्स ले लिए और जिसके लिए आपने हमें कोई चार्ज नहीं किया, क्योंकि ये पहले डोनर्स की तरफ से, जीकेपीडी की तरफ से क्लियर कट मैसेज है कि ये फ्री में आ रहे हैं, डोनर इसको डोनेट कर रहे हैं और ये वितस्ता के पास आ रहे हैं, और वितस्ता भी आगे बिल्कुल फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट किसी को भी इसको पर्सनल यूज करने के लिए या ग्रुप यूज करने के लिए, वी आर नॉट चार्जिंग एनीथिंग टू एनीवन। दिस यूनिट्स विल गो टू एवरीवन टोटली फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, बट आई as an administrator of Vitasta taking this responsibility, the way we are doing it for last 20 years, a proper inventory will be maintained, how many units we have received, where we have distributed these units, और उसके बाद जो हमारे 10 यूनिट्स हम किस पेशेंट को वो देंगे उसका भी एक प्रॉपर डिटेल होगा जो लेटर ऑन ओपन होगा और जीकेपीडी को वापस भेजा जाएगा कि वो 10 यूनिट्स किस किस लोगों ने यूज किए। और एक और मेरी रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी कि जब ये कोविड का टाइम भगवान हमें अब छोड़ देगा इस इन परेशानियों से, जब ये ओवर हो जाएगा, माय हैंडफुल रिक्वेस्ट टू एवरी संस्था जो भी ये यूनिट लेंगे, दैट एंड ऑफ द टाइम दे विल सेंड दीज यूनिट्स बैक टू वितस्ता, और उसके बाद जीकेपीडी इसके पास फाइनल कॉल लेगा कि जब हमने ये फिर से स्टोर कर दिया अपने गोदाम में वितस्ता में, उसके बाद फ्यूचर इसका क्या करना होगा, दैट विल अगेन कम्युनिकेट आवर ओन आवर ऑल कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स। एंड लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट, जो कॉन्सेंट्रेटर्स अभी हम आ रहे हैं या जिसके पास भी आएंगे, जैसे डॉक्टर चौधरी साहब ने भी हमें गाइडेंस यही दे दी कि हमें प्रॉपर इनका यूज करना चाहिए, कि एक इंसान को पूरी तरह ये समझाना पड़ेगा कि हम इसको प्रॉपर यूज कैसे करेंगे। जो 10 यूनिट्स आप वितस्ता के डायरेक्ट नाम पे दे रहे हैं उनके यूज के लिए मैं आपको इंश्योर करूंगा, वी हैव अ मेडिकल टीम हेडेड बाय सुनील हंडू जी, and a good team of other members. हम एक तो खुद ये डिलीवर करते आ रहे हैं पिछले टाइम से, हमारे पास अभी जो 10-15 यूनिट है हम घर में ये डिलीवर करते हैं पेशेंट के लिए, और उसके बाद उनको वहां पे हम इनको डेमो देते हैं कि हाउ यू कैन यूज दिस यूनिट। और उसके बाद अगर उनसे तब भी बात नहीं बनती, हमारी ऑनलाइन 24 आवर्स हेल्पलाइन हमने इश्यू कर रखी है, वो किसी भी टाइम हमें फोन करके गाइडेंस ले सकते हैं कि प्रॉपरली हम कंसंट्रेटर को कैसे यूज करेंगे। और मैं दोबारा से आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया करता हूं। डॉक्टर साहब, आपका हम बहुत ऋणी रहेंगे इस बात के लिए कि आप एक इस टाइम जो जीकेपीडी आगे बढ़ रहा है, ये एक शायद मुझे लग रहा है, क्योंकि मैं भी 10-20 साल से इस यूनिटी के मुंह में और यूनिटी के लिए और बाकी सब चीजों में एक्टिव हूं, इस टाइम जो पूरे कम्युनिटी में एक अच्छा सा लीड जीकेपीडी क्या सब लोगों के थ्रू लीड करवा रहे हैं कि ये शायद हमारे लिए एक गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी है। जैसे मोदी जी हमारे एक गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी है कश्मीरी पंडित कम्युनिटी के लिए, वैसे ही जीकेपीडी भी एक साबित हो रहा है कि आने वाले टाइम पे हम हर एक परेशानी से मिलके लड़ सकते हैं, उस पर अचीव कर सकते हैं, और हम ऐसे ही यूनिटी अपने आपस में रखें। आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
थैंक यू बट साहब। यमन कथ करने तिम करन युन तुम वोनवो कह वनान वितस्ता हस्पताल मुतलक कह करन, यमन कथ करने तिम करन, यमन ब्रोट पकुन तिम पकन। इसलिए गह आज ज्यादा सनुन कह, इसलिए ब्रोट पकुन, इकवट पकुन, तो काम जान करें, सो पन नियत गस। On that note, let me introduce Rakesh Kolji, who is with us. And it gives me immense pleasure, the amount of coordination he has been putting in, the efforts in last 2 weeks, and the lifeline of all these consignments and all that thing. Let me confess, we are very thankful to you, Rakesh ji. Floor is yours. We have a lot of speakers, but whatever you need to communicate, go ahead, Rakesh ji. Virender ji, you are the next speaker after this. Be ready.
So as we look forward, there are 3 points I would like to make. One, I would like to pick up with the very important point that Mr. Bhatt made, which is as we distribute these concentrators and as the local Sabha doctors who are the frontline medical personnel advise the patients who are receiving these concentrators, please tell them to watch the video that is on the GKPD page that was broadcast a couple of days ago. Dr. Mattu, Dr. Nirmal Mattu, Dr. Anil Mattu, and most importantly, Joseph Lewarsky. For those of you who may not have watched the video, Joseph Lewarsky has written over 40 papers. He's Senior Vice President, Clinical Care for Viblis Company, which is the #1 concentrator company manufacturer in America. So please make sure that whoever uses the concentrator at least watches that video, and then of course takes consultation from the local physician. That's #1. #2 point I want to make to you is that for an enlightened, educated community, which has per capita more physicians than any other community, let us accept the learning that we fell short in vaccinating ourselves. And that for me is incomprehensible, how as an enlightened community we let our guard down. But now, as a temporary lull emerges in this corona storm, GKPD will switch its focus and go into overdrive in terms of vaccinating everybody who is not vaccinated in the community. I would urge all the Sabha members to coordinate with Utpal Kaulji, work on a MOU with a local hospital, and in Jammu, of course, with Asta Hospital, on how we can come up with a game plan. And just as we, in very difficult circumstances, were able to source concentrators and find solutions, whether it's cylinders, you guys were great. You found a way in a marketplace of shortage. Similarly, in the shortage of vaccines, let's find a way. Now, when you set your will, then you find a way. We made this call last Friday night, Saturday morning, India time, that we would start looking at vaccines. Already, we have received an offer where Pfizer vaccine, 2.5 million doses, will be delivered in India to the hospital of our choice. But already we have a member of GKPD group that has committed $20,000 for the Pfizer vaccine, and we'll get more people to put money behind it. But here are the challenges that by next Friday, when we meet again, we need to have some answers to. Number one, just as we built a logistics chain end-to-end globally, of which Ashish Kachruji was one end of the bridge, and our Hanuman Virinder Kaulji was the other end, and that's how it worked. And then ultimately with Asta. Similarly, we have to figure out at the receiving end which hospitals actually have the refrigeration storage and can actually store this vaccine, which has a shelf life of 5 days, and the community can be vaccinated at the different centers. The number two issue is that Pfizer does need a minimum order quantity. They will not send small quantities, but let me worry about the aggregation problem. All I'm saying is you guys can figure out a way maybe to access a Sputnik vaccine, which is now going to be available in the marketplace. But please, 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 the data is absolutely clear. If you get a full dose of the vaccine, you will live. And that's what we have to focus on now. That represents the best focal point for emerging. The last piece I want to talk about in creating this global chain is obviously fundraising. And I'm happy to tell you that as part of this event that Surinderji is spearheading, we have a nonprofit in the US, US India Pragati Foundation. You'll be hearing this name a lot during the course of this benefit concert. I just want to give you some background so you know that it is a friend and a very reliable, trusted friend. See, when it comes to nonprofits, the only thing that matters for a nonprofit is trust in the governance and credibility in delivery. US India Pragati Foundation initially started 15 years ago as Long Island Hindu Foundation. And over 15 years, they have done an exemplary job. They sponsored a movie on Swami Vivekananda. They sponsor marathons. They do a lot of good work over 15 years. They have submitted their reports to the IRS every year. And the chartered accountant for US India Pragati Foundation is Rajiv Kaulji in New York City. Many of you know that he runs a premier CA firm in New York City. So recently, the decision was made by the Hindu Foundation that they would expand the charter, call it US India Pragati Foundation, and let Rajiv Kaulji run this foundation and have it be under his control. So currently the board members are Rajiv Kaulji, his wife, Vanita, one of his employees, Kashab Patel, and me. And so today we are going to set up a GoFundMe account for this foundation, which GoFundMe account will be used in the concert. It's a foundation that's credible, it's trustworthy, and that we will use to raise funds and direct to the goals that we set together as a community with Surendraji's agreements that he's making. Thank you. That's the 3 points I want to.
Thank you, Rakeshji, for your very valuable inputs, especially on vaccination. I agree that vaccination is very, very important, and we need to ensure that the whole community is vaccinated ASAP. I know that Neeraj ji introduced about this concert, and Rakeshji also touched about it. You know, frankly speaking, we all were disturbed in last 2 weeks what was happening. And let me be honest, I see these volunteers working hard. I think Nymphia Sarabji, you have been a big inspiration for me. The way you have been putting it, and not only her, hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, whether it is KP Volunteer Jammu, whether it is Charika Foundation, whether it is COVID response team. I don't know other names. My apologies in advance. But you guys have inspired us. We were very disturbed, very, very disturbed. And I should comment. I reached out to I Am Buddha Foundation, Pallavi ji and Vivek Agnihotri ji, with whom I have very, very strong relationships. And I told them that, our community families are being wiped out and we are in a mess and we got to do something. And she asked me, what do you want? I said that we want a fundraising event. And could you please take lead on this on our behalf? And within minutes, she said, yes, whatever you say, we will do it. We will go for it. I was under the assumption that and it is just 5 days ago, this whole thing has started. Actually, I had made her a call when I was seeing that families are getting wiped. I saw the obituary of a family on this paper. I couldn't resist. So she started it. And every day she's filling me, hey, there are so many Bollywood people who are joining in this concerts. And it was getting big, 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 big. And I was really indebted to them. Now, there was a worry that since it's coming at a very big scale, that there shouldn't be any message that says that, see, in this humanitarian crisis, Kashmiri Pandits are working for Kashmiri Pandits. So, we help everyone, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, when charity comes. And that is our strength. So in order to minimize that impact, I reached to President of Seva International, and I'm very glad to report that this whole event will be supported by Seva International. You have been hearing about Seva International a lot. So this whole concert is coming up very big. And this is your concert. This is community's concert. This is the first concert of this large scale. Please pray for it, that it meets all the objectives that it has been set for. When finances are involved, our track record is not good. But I should commend Kashab Seva Foundation and US India Pragati Foundation, who has come forward, and they will be the main streams of revenue generation from this. And we need to send messages. We need to, this is your event. This is reach out to your friends, reach out to your families, reach out to your people outside the scope and make it a success, make it a success. So on this note, it is scheduled for May 29th. There are lots of logistic things being done, a lot of pieces which are being done. So at this note, I would like to request our Hanumanji, Virender Kolji to step in. But after that, I know we have lots of Sabha leaders here. So I'm not going in particular order. My apologies for keeping you waiting. We will move, but after Virender ji, we would like to hear from Nymphia Saraf ji if she is here. So please be ready. All right, floor is yours, Virender ji.
Namaskar, Mara Sadni, and very happy to see all of you. Mara, this is a responsibility in some oxygen concentrators in I clear in real time without loss of time. So I have some experience in my profession, and my big thanks to R.K. Bhatt. Emotion till police on sorry administration as a handover, and to his chartered accountant, Mr. Handu Saab. Generally, she chartered accountant asan but khadus, but I found him a very, very क्या मन बताइए तुमसे दिल मरा समंदर. And whatever we were asking, whether in day or night, I was getting a response within hours. And it would not have been possible if they did not have their documentation in place. And importing something into India, that too duty free, and that too claiming GST exemption is not a joke. That is why R.K. Bhatt, when he is telling you that Gulze Gandit, जब साथ ये मुसीबत कैसे खत्म, ये हमारा कैसे headache शुरू for R.K. Bhatt and Bethesda. This will go into the inventory of Bethesda. After 6 months, ये मैं GST will, ये मैं custom will, हमारा ये निमिस दरवाजे पर बल्सा बाया दे हिसाब. So this is a community property. Whosoever is taking it, Yamarache Bethesda is Darohar, please. Otherwise, Bethesda will go into a lot of legal issues and penalties. They can be penalized 2 times, 3 times. This is my one request. Second request is that Jagti campus must buy machine and please have a coordination there. Please use as a Dr. KL Chaudhary do it under a medical supervision. Now let me brief you about the operation part of it. All the machines have reached Delhi warehouse of FedEx. This morning they have confirmed. Custom clearance is ongoing, and we hope tonight the custom clearance will be over, and by tomorrow morning it will come to our agent's warehouse in Pitampura. And we have already intimated DTDC. DTDC will be doing the internal transport of these machines from Delhi to the various cities in India, like Bombay, Pune, Bangalore, Jaipur, Jammu, Hyderabad, and so on. So DTDC has been told to come tomorrow at 10 a.m. to the Pitampura warehouse. And these are packed separately. Oxygen concentrators are in a different pallet. Transformers are in a different pallet. Cannulas and masks are in a different panel. So we will need a couple of hours to sort them out and then distribute them as per city plan. In Delhi itself, we are sending around 61 numbers. So we have one more warrior, Commander Sanjay Kohl, who has volunteered to send his own transport and his volunteers. And he will take over all these machines and he will go door to door to all the sabas and give it to you, all of you. Please give him a proper receipt. And my request to all the sabas is you all have a chartered accountant on your board. So please discuss with your chartered accountant on the implications of it. Do your paperwork properly and please revert back to Bethesda Hospital as soon as possible. I hope this whole logistic exercise should be over by Wednesday night. This is our target. These machines should be in your hand by Wednesday night. That is our effort, and God bless you all. Thank you, Namaskar.
Thank you, Virender ji. You know, you are the lifeline, you are the man in action, and thank you so much for spending so many hours in this logistics. We are greatly indebted and thankful to you. So, you know, I said that right now, I know we have Sabah's presidents with no disrespect to you. Right now, you know, we all see the volunteers coming around uh, in different ways and the way they are putting in their efforts in reaching out saving lives, helping and coordinating, that is immense. But when I say volunteer, I would say that it is all volunteers. Many of them are not part of this webinar also. So let me bring in Nymphia Ji here, and you share your experiences. What is your requirements? How are things? And what is your advice for us? You know, we learn from you. What is your advice for us? If you have any messages for us, please do. And we have all the people here. Try to be brief, but just speak all and give all your inputs. And after this, I would like to come on to Lokesh Banji, who will tell you some novel, creative ideas about what they are doing as KKS Gurgaon and creating a very wonderful app to flawlessly help in this situation. So, floor is yours, Nymphia Ji.
Um, Thank you so much. I didn't know I had to speak, but I just quickly jotted down a few points. I will not take much of your time, but I do have a lot to say. First of all, I could not contribute in the fundraising efforts because Delhi was like a war zone. You felt like you were literally fighting, and your people standing by you were just falling down. And it was really it's not I cannot explain it. It was really taxing on us, and we used to break down every day because of what was happening. Like you just mentioned Ashwini Dharji's family. I was personally in touch with his wife the day he was hospitalized, and she contacted me again 4 days later when she herself was hospitalized. She was on oxygen. She could not speak. They did not have they just had a 17-year-old for an attendant who could not do much. We tried to do all that we could, but it was a really sad thing because his father, he passed away. Then somebody told him about his father, and then he collapsed in the hospital. Then the very next morning his mother was no more, and then in a few days even Nirmal was no more. It was shocking. Every day we used to get one or the other shock from the family. They have two daughters, and they are with their aunt right now, their bua, and I'm sure they would need legal help. They would need other maybe support with their education. So that is one thing that we really have to gear up for. It is because it's a lifelong responsibility. As of That's what I feel. In Jammu, I think the things are a little sorted because there are so many people on ground, and help has reached well in time. In Delhi, we were a little late because we could not foresee what was happening, what was going to happen. We would need concentrators. Honestly, I did not know what a concentrator was before all this. So we were caught unawares totally. But in Jammu, I feel the situation can be better because people are working on ground and everybody is really jumping into action and trying to help the family, and things are getting sorted. Having said that, we have concentrators. Now, what I feel is that somebody just told me today that there are some concentrators, and then some volunteer from who was a non-KP reached one of the places and could not get a concentrator. So I would just, although our resources are limited, but I would just make this suggestion that we should not refuse help to a person just because he's not a KP. So that is one thing that I would, probably like you to consider. Then, and thank you all for jumping into actions and getting things done so fast, and getting help to Jammu in time. Now, what I want to say is, we have started an initiative. We have started getting in touch with families who have been devastated by, who have lost the earning member, or one of the parents is no more. They need help. Some of them need financial help, some need just legal help, and some need help with the children's education, relocating, scholarships, and mostly immediate need is legal help. So if we can provide any sort of help in that regards. Like I was in touch with Kashiji since a couple of days about a death certificate that had to be arranged for one family. So if we can plan something in a concerted effort, in an organized way, like to how to move forward, what are the immediate and future needs of these families, that would be a great help, because we will have to start it, and it's not getting over anytime soon. It's a life, it has to go on for years now. And of course we have to be prepared for another wave. So just transferring resources from Delhi to Jammu, if they are not needed immediately, would not maybe be wise right now. We should retain some of the resources in Delhi also for now.
Thank
So
you.
that is all I have to say.
Thank you,
so
Nifia
much.
ji. We are proud of you and proud of all the volunteers who are on the ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, when we say 171 concentrators are reaching or have already reached, besides that, you know, KOA has already, you know, I'm not an authorized spokesperson of KOA. I will say in US, we are all KOA. I'm a life member. I have been a president of that organization. So they have additionally sent 40 or 50 concentrators, which are in different areas. So that is in addition to that. So I just wanted to make one additional point here. So on this note, I would request Lokesh Manji, president of KKS Gurgaon, to uh, share that app, what it is briefly, and also tell us how KKS Gurgaon is to utilize these concentrators. Because I know we have Surinder Sadhu ji also in Gurgaon, so we'll have to coordinate with him also on on utilization of these units. So please share your viewpoint that you have a panel of doctors and how it will be used, and also briefly touch upon this touch upon how to about this app. After that, Shafalika ji, who has been burning her all the hours and all these throughout these 2-3 weeks of exercise, you are next in the line. Go ahead, Lokesh Banji.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Surendra Kaul. Thank you very much. Before I even start, I think the emotion that one heard in Nymphia's voice when she was talking about the work she is doing is a reflection of the hard work and continuous support she and her friends, and actually scores of friends and colleagues and community members are giving. So I am totally humbled. And Nymphia, you're a gem as far as the community is concerned. Yeah. Having said that, my namaste to everybody who's present here in the evening today. Getting a little late in the evening, so I'll try and be brief. An app demonstration typically can be a technical subject, so I will try and make it a totally non-technical talk, which I will try and finish in less than 5 minutes. As I was told, 5 minutes is my time. And I'll just give you an overview as to the objectives of the app and what it does for us. Now, we all know there are problems. There are problems of oxygen beds is getting resolved here in the NCR, but the problem for the ICU beds remains. More than that, however, the problem of the home care where the concentrators are likely to go, or even the hospitals who could use the concentrators, that remains. So these concentrators will come in. There are other things besides the beds and concentrators, the cylinders and even the food, which should get our attention from time to time. And all this in a scenario where everybody is emotionally charged, and transparency and the logic should drive our decision making in terms of where we are going to give the concentrator. So there are a few problem statements which we identified. One, how do we make sure that the whole process is transparent? ऐसा ना हो जाए कि हम ये बोलें अंधा बांटे रेवड़ी और फिर अपना को दे 5 कंसंट्रेटर हो 10 कंसंट्रेटर हो, वो अपने जानने वाले जिसका फोन आ गया, जिसका इन्फ्लुएंस हुआ, प्रेशर हुआ, उसको उठा के दे दिया. Whereas a much more needy person who needs the concentrator is not able to get the concentrator in time, and that can be very, very costly, not only from the point of view of life itself, but also the delay which causes the admission to a hospital, etc., etc. So transparency in terms of how we decide to give the concentrator, problem number one. How do we make sure that the decision who to give the concentrator to is taken, within minutes, not in hours, leave alone days, not in hours, in minutes. So that's the problem number two. We also don't want to commit the mistake. There is one person who needs the concentrator more than the other. We have one concentrator, a scenario I'm building, one concentrator, and there are two people who need it. How do we decide which is the right concentrator beneficiary, or who should we give it to? So that's the problem number three. Over and above that is the issue that there is a legal requirement. Somebody gives the concentrator to somebody, concentrator doesn't work, or he uses it wrongly. I mean, is he going to hold the organizations giving the concentrator responsible? Is he going to, be able to use the concentrator safely? And beyond that, what is the record that we are maintaining? Who has the concentrator gone to? How do we receive it back? There is an asset control that is required here. How do we get it back? That's a challenge in itself. And how do we close loop and maintain the records of whatever is happening? Who needed it, and what are the records we are going to ask for, etc., etc. Now, these were the problem statements, and I am not going to, when we are talking about the app, I'm not going to get into the details of how the app looks, etc., etc. The app is going to be on the Play Store possibly by tomorrow. It's already done, and everyone will be able to use the app, and I will go a little bit into detail how you can, ask your people, and how you will be able to kind of make it a transparent and a seamless process. How the app works is, it is a very simple app, which I will try and explain in 4 steps, because the demo would take much longer, etc., etc. But just 4 steps. The first step is that the applicant, whosoever is the person who is in need of the concentrator. Oh, by the way, beyond the concentrator, there is a drop-down list. You could also add some family needs the food, some family needs the oxygen bed, some family needs, medicine. So there is a drop-down list. The family or the applicant will be able to select on this app. This is what I need. So there is the applicant's email, mobile number, address, etc. that goes on that. The app then asks the applicant to upload, and it's a 30-second process, the RT-PCR report, the doctor's prescription, and the Aadhaar card straight away. So the identity of the patient is confirmed. You don't have 5 people asking for the same thing for the same patient, because that, Nymphia will, bear with me, that becomes a huge issue, because the same requirement comes from, 5 sources and causes a lot of clutter and confusion. So documents are uploaded. As soon as the documents are uploaded, there is an alert that goes from the server. So this is online and straight away. It doesn't take more than a second, obviously. So there is an alert that goes to 2 sets of people. The one set of people, the volunteers, 1, 2, or 3 volunteers that are drafted into that city's set of volunteers. The other is the doctors. So volunteers know that there is a requirement coming in, so they get the SMS as well as the email. And the doctors know that I have got this RT-PCR report, I have got the probably CT scan, I have got the Aadhaar card. I need to now decide, does he need the concentrator? Now, erring on both sides, not giving the concentrator to somebody who's not at that level, who's kind of fine, or erring on the side where he shouldn't actually be rushed to the ICU is also a tough one, right? That's not good for the patient. So the doctor is the best judge. So this alert also goes to the panel of doctors. Let us say there are 3 doctors on the panel. The doctor will be able to see the documents, and any of the 3 doctors who sees the document, it goes simultaneously to everybody. 1 second, 2 second process again. He gets a button on the screen, approved. Any one of the 3 or 4 doctors who are on the panel, they say approved. The system is approved. As long as it is in stock, the volunteer again gets an alert. It has been approved. As soon as the approval happens, the next step is you ask the patient to collect it, or you have your volunteer delivering the equipment to the patient or his supporter. So there is an alert constantly going to the patient's applicant or on that phone or the email that has been fed. So he's also getting to know what is happening. So what you have done is that within a period of minutes, if, because there is an overlap in terms of number of people, within a period of minutes, you have sorted out who's the person and if he needs it, and you have a record and indemnity, which is there on the app, which has been approved. So all the documentation is done, all the necessary inputs are done, all the approvals are done by the, and the message has been relayed back to the applicant that your concentrator is ready, it should be picked up, please coordinate with this volunteer. So the volunteer calls or the applicant calls the volunteer, both names are available. So you give out the things, whether it is food or whatever. So you give out the food, things, and after 7 days, you will be able to close loop it, pick it back, and then you put it back in the inventory that goes onto the app. There are 2 things which have happened with this. One is the transparency, tracking, speed, and records and indemnity, etc., that has happened. But even more important is the whole process is agnostic to somebody sitting there and deciding this is the person I will give to and this is not the person I will give to. That's a manual process. It could be bring in bias. I am not saying it will bring in bias, it could. Or at least it could be seen to be biased because, we are human beings, and the moment we are required to take a decision this way or that way, one of them, will be upset. So this is a person agnostic process, and it clearly close tracks the whole process. The app will be, as I said, it's right now Android. It will be on the Play Store in the next day or so is the way I am seeing it. And if you want to collaborate on this, Gurgaon is going to use it and we are going to use it for this. If you want to collaborate, you have my number, you reach out to me. We will, in the drop down list, we will put your city's name and your organization's name. And as soon as that person puts that city's name, the number of people who are going to get an alert are the people you have put as volunteers and doctors, which are typically the people of your city. Let's say somebody from Bombay, you need people from Bombay coordinating the Bombay issue. So the moment the guy says, I am from Mumbai, so this can be actually national or even global. The moment he says, I am from Bombay, the alerts will go to the volunteers and doctors of Bombay. So it can further be expanded, but within the last week, 10 days, we just thought, how do we handle it so that we bring in transparency and we build trust, and most importantly, we do it with a speed which is alarming without causing a clutter and noise in the system. So that's a brief overview of the app. please feel free to connect with me or Surendraji or Utpalji, who's known to everybody. Give us the details if you want to get your city incorporated, and if you want to manage your assets, because about the assets also you will constantly get the inventory, and people sitting in US or anywhere else will be able to see where are the oxygen concentrators. Or for that matter, let's say there are 5 concentrators in Gurgaon which are lying here and Noida needs them, we can probably transship them. So it's a very, very strong tool. It's a very simple tool. It comes right now free of cost, and no cost to any of you, no cost for the software or the backend or the servers that are being used. It's zero cost, but it I think is a great tool. We are still working. I don't deny there could be some bugs as they are in most of the things, but we will go.
Lokeshji, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much for these innovative steps that you have taken with your. So yeah, that's really laudable, and I would suggest that you coordinate with Utpal Kolji, with everyone in India, and the volunteers also, and have a session. Coordinate there, and I know there will be lots of questions. You brought up a very important point that I really like, that hey, if Noida needs 5 more, we have spare, we should use that. So these demarcations are not that, oh no, this has to be used in Noida, this has to be used in Gurgaon, this has to be used in Faridabad. We have to have an open system where basically we exchange these, have that coordination and help. I like that idea, and thanks for bringing that up here. On this note, thank you once again, Lokeshji. I would like to, I know Shafalika ji, I wanted to bring you in, but Siddharth ji is here. Let's hear from him. I know Siddharth ji, Sanjay Ganjuji talked about Kashab Seva Foundation. Veer Kharji also mentioned how they are operating. But whatever you want to add, floor is yours, Siddharth ji.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Namaskar, Sarini. I know it's very late, so I'll keep it short. It's close to 10 p.m. here, and I know for Veerji, it's probably like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and for everybody else. The biggest thing that I really want to drive home as a message, on a per capita basis, the Kashmiri Pandit community, whenever we do the sums together, has put in far more money with almost zero publicity versus the Sikh community. And I don't mean anything against the Sikh community. They are our brothers and we owe them a debt of gratitude historically. But I think we should be very proud. The second feature that I notice, and all of you are participants, and I just want to drive home this message of positivity. So many of you, everyone is being active and is behaving as a volunteer. That is exactly what is happening. So whenever we feel ke button pansa organizations, doesn't matter, we are doing a great job. And ek pandit sawa lakh barabar. The amount of work that we are doing, the multiple Virinderji, one-man army. So it is after many years, and Sanjay and some of us have worked very closely in very dire, difficult, trying circumstances as young boys. We used to sit and discuss our future in jail cells. I'm telling you, there can be nothing more satisfying that the community has come together and has come together in a great way. I just want to end with 2 specific recommendations. The second wave, with God's grace, the worst brunt of it has passed. Think of it like a tsunami. 3 weeks back, 2 weeks back, the water was coming in. Now the water is going back, but it is still taking people with it. It's not gone. I pay homage to all those who have died untimely deaths, the pain and suffering that it has caused in our community. All of us have lost someone close, a friend, a colleague, family. So a remembrance to all of them. Therefore, preparing for the third wave, and utilizing all the resources that we have generated in a judicious manner. I think the easiest part was collection. The difficult part was procurement and dispatch. And I can tell you, more concentrators from our efforts have arrived from the US than from within India. We almost got cheated by half a dozen suppliers. That is the situation. Very bad situation as far as supplies of essential medical equipment is concerned in India. And therefore, the most difficult part is now reaching the end beneficiary. I know I am having to sort of keep tab of every single oximeter. It is a difficult job. So collectively, I think the beneficial utilization of all equipment is very necessary. All Kashmiri Pandits are very good bookkeepers. Lokesh is doing technology. At Kashab Seva Foundation, GKPD, we have Google Tracker, but not all of this will be enough. So we need a system, and I'm going to end here. We need a system where we do not give out material basis our liking or dislike or our individual affinity. We must have a fair, a robust distribution system. A lot of it has happened. I think our hospitals, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised and happy to know that not just Vitasta, but there are other hospitals managed, run, set up by Kashmiri Pandits. Nothing could make me prouder and all of you prouder. We should concentrate our resources there. Every association, every Mohalla Sabha has done great work. I would appeal those Sabhas, and perhaps there are none, who are left need to open up their purse strings. Do not keep your bhavans closed. Don't keep your accounts and FDs unutilized. Open it up. All of this is doing good. Yes, we may have purchased material. Someone told me, don't worry, 30 years back, those of us who have seen the Sahayata Samti days know that Kashmiri Pandits in Gita Bhavan were fed, and it still brings tears to my eyes. They're fed rice and watery dal. And all of us have reached far, far ahead of that time. So do not forget that, where we have come from. And make sure that your hearts open up and you behave like the true warrior comb that we are. Sorry, I got a bit off track, but Surendraji, I'm going to end here. Thanks. Thanks very much for having me.
I know your emotions said it all, and that summarized it well. You know, we are all in tears, and it should come. I don't shy away. I'm in tears too all the time, but it's important also. So at this note, you know, my apologies. I have to take a hospital meeting. So Shafalika ji will start moderating. Shafalika ji, for your information, we have Tashi Akunji, who is NCR coordinator of GKPD and represents Faridabad also, doing a very good job. Kamal Haq ji, Noida Association, and not only Noida, outside also has been a very great scholar and leader. Naveen Rana ji is from Pune, who is closely working with the KP Sabha Pune, and will be distributing these concentrators. We have Sanjay ji from Jaipur. We have Dilip Mattu ji from Jammu Kashmir Vichar Manch. We have Aryan Ramesh ji, and we have Helpline Humanity, which has been doing a great job. Another volunteer organization which has been doing here every time what they are doing. And my apologies to all of you. I have to run. I have some important, I would have delayed it. So Shafalika ji, on to you.
Thank you, Surinder ji. I think we are already nearing 2 hours, so we will try and make it very quick. Chakri ji is one and I'm just in front of all you stalwarts. I'm just a clog in a wheel. पर अब यहाँ meeting है तो I just want to shout out to all my doctor friends. I'm a doctor myself, as some of you know. कि हम लोग कहते हैं कि कश्मीरी जो बच्चे हैं तो डॉक्टर बनते हैं या तो इंजीनियर बनते हैं. तो इस टाइम में I am so proud to have met so many doctors who I knew anyway before, but who have volunteered their time, their money And I am part of several groups. I don't contribute much as a doctor because I'm a psychiatrist. Hamara kaam thoda late start hota hai. But we have got pulmonologists, respiratory consultants in US, in UK, Dr. Vimarsh Rana, Dr. Sunny Cole, Dr. Jogi, to name a few. And I have been amazed. They have taken time off their own work and they are doing this 24/7. Dr. Urmila Rana, who's my sister here, they are doing it like an outpatient clinic basis. They are contacting families in Jammu and Delhi, because the thing with COVID is it's a very very cruel illness. और इसमें अगर timely advice नहीं मिलती है, which might be just a मामूली advice कि आप oxygen ले लो या आप steroid खा लो. On the surface, it's a very मामूली advice, but it is life saving. So on behalf of all of GKPD and the whole community, I think I'm indebted to all the doctors who have provided timely advice to all our patients and are saving lives on a daily basis. So I won't take much time. यही मुझे बोलना था डॉक्टरों के बारे में कि ये इस time we are, as a community, we are honored that we have so many doctors at our disposal. And we have been using them and we are going to use them because this is not going to go, this is going to be long term. Short term, so we need respiratory physicians and other pulmonologists, but long term we'll need psychiatrists, we will need cardiologists, and we will need gynecologists, we will need all specialties. So we will have a multidisciplinary doctor input. And on that note, I would like to invite Kashi Akhunji. I mean, as myself, I don't want to say anything about what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm just a clog in a wheel. मगर सब clogs अगर एक साथ काम करेंगे तो फिर wheel आगे बढ़ रहा है, धीरे-धीरे बढ़ रहा है. It is after 1990, I think this is the second biggest calamity that has hit our community. There is no doubt about that. At least 500 to 600, जो मुझे पता है, of unofficial figures of Kashmiri Pandit members we have lost till now, and families have been wiped out. So to say that this is a huge calamity would also be an understatement. It is much more than that. But anyway, so I would like to invite Kashi Akhunji. I work very closely with Kashi Akhunji. He is from Faridabad. He is putting 24/7 into fundraising and doing all kinds of things. I can't tell you how much work he's doing. I will let him come on the stage and say, as part of KSS Faridabad and as a volunteer, independent volunteer, how much work he is putting in. Kashiji, do you want to come in now?
Namaskar to all of you. My homage to all those who have left us. I feel this the saddest part of my life after 1990, when we were kicked out from Kashmir. That point of time, we thought that we have lost everything. We will not be again surviving like a good citizens of India. But God has been very kind to us, and He gave us again the way, and we come up from all those hardships. But this May and April has broken our backbone. Let me be very clear to all of you. We have seen people leaving us like anything. The day you are talking to them, in the evening you are seeing they have lost, they are no more. So we all have to have courage. We have to face it, because of, at least this time, it was not man-made. In Kashmir, that was man-made, but here it is natural calamity. We all have to face it, and we cannot blame anybody. But one thing is clear: Kashmiri Pandits are Devdutas. They have worked like Devtas are working for each other. They are basically rishis who have got the courage, who have been donating all along in Kashmir also. In poverty days, when they were in Jammu, they were not having any place to live, but they would pay that time also. I remember the people living in camps used to donate rice, used to donate their money, may that be whatsoever they are having, they were donating. So we Kashmiri Pandits have suffered a lot throughout centuries, and throughout centuries we have been again on the road, and we have shown the way to all the communities. यहाँ पर जो फरीदाबाद में स्थिति हमने देखी है, it was very, God was very, very, what I cannot express words. The people were dying for oxygen. The people were dying, but they were not having the beds in the hospital. They were roaming here and there. It was total chaos. But the people like Nifa Saraf, Sunil Ji Raina, and Colonel Rajiv, and hundreds of our youth, they came from their homes, they came from their offices, they came from their families, and they worked there 24/7. My salute to all these workers. My salute to all our friends. I salute to Ram Krishan Bhatt and all those warriors who work day and night, who didn't care for their families, for themselves, and were out of families, working for this Kashmiri community and saved some lives. And we are fortunate enough and we are privileged to have a wonderful community and wonderful daughters and sons at our back. I am proud of all of you. I tell you, I belong to a rural area in Kashmir. We were struggling there. We were keeping the Indian flag high. We were keeping the Kashmiri Hinduism. We were the proud sons of Kashapa. We keep that high there. We left there only for religion. And here also we kept our religion high. We worked for our community. We are working and we will work for that. This is the bravest community of India, and I am proud of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kashiji. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to bring in Mr. Kemuji, who's from KP Mumbai. He's been so good, always very supportive of all causes, and but GKPD especially has got great links to GKPD. Kemu sir, do you want to come in?
Yeah, namaskar. I'll just be quick. I think I'll just, since it's getting late for many, so I'll just try to be as quick as possible. First and foremost, a great effort collectively, which has moved forward from one gear to second gear and reaching its final destination, where there were many obstacles on the way, and I think they have gone ahead. The logistics team would have done a fantastic job once these concentrators reach their destination. Commendable job. I would say heartily clap for that. Terrific task, not an easy task, full of obstacles. I quickly, without going around, I just quickly brief out what we have done at KPA Mumbai. We, since the problem started here, but it quickly stabilized here, and later on we didn't have so many issues or emergencies here. And I know by the time we realized the problem was serious, it had sort of taken off in Delhi NCR region. So, and already things were being done from KOA, GKPD, all these concentrators or oximeters and other stuff was arranged and was on the way. So then we in Bombay, when this activity had started, we had actually started the work on a fund here towards exigencies of COVID-related aspects. But by the time we could take off, we realized that most of the things which are required immediately were already on the move. Therefore, we decided let's focus on the post-COVID aspect, because this is not going to end tomorrow. Today, people need oximeters and concentrators and small things like masks, and all those are being arranged. But the damage that has been done to families is there to stay for a long time, and we are going to need support. So we created a fund, we worked towards that, and we said, let's focus predominantly on the long-term aspect, which is the next 2-3 years where families will need support. Okay, once we started this exercise, the response was phenomenal, as has been across the globe this time from the community. It was really far more than what we thought and we expected. So then our thinking changed. We said, okay, we need to do some short-term also. Okay, we will contribute to a few organizations which are doing voluntary work in Jammu and NCR region. And yesterday we took a decision. We have decided to contribute about 2 lakhs to KMECT, 1 lakh to our GKPD KSF fund, then 1 lakh to Seva Bhatt Hospital, and 1 lakh to KP Seva Jammu. So this is about 5 or 6 lakhs we allocated for the immediate, and we said let's keep about 50% of the fund or more than that for the long-term aspect, which will be reserved. And as we keep getting cases about families which need help, either for financial need or for education, we will be contributing that. And there our aim is to coordinate with the various sanstha's and sabhas, and we'll be helping them, since we can't do the assessment from here because most of these cases we anticipate are going to come from Delhi and Jammu and NCR region. So we are already in touch with various sanstha's and sharing with them whatever inputs we get, asking them to assess, tell us what the need is, and so that we can contribute to that aspect. So therefore, we have kept a reserve for that. And we have also kept a small portion for cases which may come up in Bombay only either post this or in the third wave. That's about 20% of the fund. 20% of the fund we have kept for that, 50% for long term, and 25, 25, 50. 50 we have kept reserved for the next 2-3 years, and 25 we are immediately dispersing, which is being done tomorrow or day after, yes, between these 2 days. So that is broadly what we have done here. And we do realize this is a long haul. It's going to stay here. It's not going to get over fast. So we have to keep the powder dry for quite some time. And maybe this exercise will have to be repeated after some time. But as of now, whatever we can do, we are trying to do.
Thank you, Kemasa. That is great planning, because this is not going to go away. There's going to be long-term repercussions of this disaster. So we have Naveen Ranaji. Naveen Ranaji, quickly, do you want to come in? Naveen Ranaji is from Pune, doing a great job for the community there.
My namaskar to everybody present here. So firstly, I like to thank GKPD and Kashmiri Overseas Association for this magnanimous effort, and thank all for the contribution from across the world for this very timely help during this unprecedented COVID crisis. I am actually the owner of Satyanand Hospital in Pune, which has completed 25 years last year. So we have 36 beds facility with a 6-bed ICU. And last some time now, actually a year or so, I have been focusing on providing home healthcare services, which includes basically providing caregivers for both, in fact, COVID and non-COVID patients we have been providing here. And in addition to that, we are also providing all hospital services at home, because that was a need of the hour, and that is how it started. I just started about a year back during COVID only. In addition to that, basically before also we were having this long-term care of chronic ill patients. In fact, many of our patients are, NRIs patients, parents here who in Pune, who are being with us for, in fact, some of them for over years. So these concentrators, basically, I am seeing it as a big help in 2 ways. Firstly, because even now, concentrators are not very easily available, or they are very exorbitantly priced, very low capacity oxygen concentrators, which are not of adequate use, 2 liters and costing 80,000-90,000. So this help of concentrators is much more than the money being spent on it because of the present circumstances. And secondly, I've already started, we are having this, as we are providing these caregivers to patients at home, many of the patients, elderly patients who are being discharged, are being discharged even after 2-3 weeks. They are requiring oxygen support at home, and we are already providing rented oxygen concentrators along with the caregivers to the patients. So these concentrators will be required for both, right, for acute care of the patients, to help them till they find a hospital bed or an oxygen bed, and also will be required for many elderly people who are post the complications of COVID. They will still need oxygen support for a month or 2, or we don't know, depending upon the the lung fibrosis and other changes that have happened during the course of the illness. Practically speaking, one of the points which was also in my mind was mentioned by Dr. K.L. Chaudhary sir, that it is very important to train the families and the caregivers for how to use the concentrator, things, and use it properly. So I will be able to help that with the help of my hospital staff. So we should be able to provide the training any time of the day or night. If the family comes, and our staff will be able to teach them and train them on the spot how to use the concentrator effectively. And in addition, also provide online support around the clock for any other things related to it. So I'll that is all I think rest I have been hearing and noting all the important points.
Thank
so
you.
I thank you all very much for this, providing this timely concentrators. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Naveenji. Very important point that these concentrators are not just for short term. They are going to be important after a patient recovery as well. So because some people think that what are we going to do with all these concentrators, but these are going to be unfortunately going to be long-term use. So next I would like to invite Kamal Haji. Is from KP Sabha, Noida, stalwart, doesn't need any introduction. Everybody here knows him. So Kamalji, Noida has been doing great work during COVID. I know that personally, but do you want to add?
Thank you, Shafalika ji. Namaskar to everybody. I think a lot has been said. There is no point repeating in what has been already said till now. But some of the experiences that I would like to share here very briefly. When this COVID started, like everywhere else in India, everybody was caught napping with helplessness and no preparations at all. And we realized that a lot of people were trying to organize these help groups, the funds and all those things. And people were promising, pledging, and trying to help. We realized at that moment that all these things could take time. So we at Noida need to do something which can happen very fast. And we actually purchased concentrators and other things, equipment at that time. And I'm very glad, despite the tragedies that have been unfolding before us day in and day out, but it gives me immense satisfaction to say that Noida has been able to save at least 8 lives till now because of the equipment that we have been able to give to the people till now. When we started this effort, we had very single objective in our mind. It was to save a life. Without doing much of a publicity, that is not many people will be knowing the activities that KMW Noida does. And we don't want to do it because it's not KMWA which is doing the things. It's been the support of the people of Noida who have opened up their purses for us, created a large amount of kitty for us to do whatever, and given us the liberty to utilize that money in whatever way we want to. And we are very proud of our members in Noida who made us self-sufficient, that despite the commitments and the pledges of many organizations to help us, the fact remains that we have not got anything till now. I'm not complaining here. I'm just giving the fact of the situation over here. We have concentrators, now we have oxygen cylinders. Not only that, I have been hearing a lot of things for the planning, that we need to plan for the future. We need to plan for the families who have been deeply impacted with their families. I'm very, I don't know whether it's a matter of satisfaction or it's a matter of happiness, because this is something which is in very unfortunate circumstances. We are doing this thing. We have already processed the 3 financial assistance cases to the families, and none of them lives in Noida. They all are outside. They have been recommended by the people from outside. And we do run a little bit of verification on that, and most probably the first the transfers will happen tomorrow. And whatever way, a small way, support for maybe a couple of months, 3 months, or one-time grant that we would like to offer, depending upon the circumstances. So our first tranche will go out tomorrow to those affected families. We are also trying to organize ourselves into preparing for the next wave, which hopefully and which we pray doesn't come. But then going by the news reports and going by the view of the experts, where everybody is predicting that the third wave is also going to come. So we want to be prepared for that eventuality also, and keep some money for that. You see, when I analyze the things and do a little bit of introspection, that whatever we have been able to do, if not very monumental, but not very insignificant as well till now. We have done some significant work in this part of Noida. Today also 3 of our concentrators have been are saving their lives, and interestingly, not a single one in Noida. They have all gone to the areas outside Noida. And we went by a simple principle that you either approach the problem as an activist or you approach it as a manager. So when we approach it, look at the things from the manager's point of view, then the legalities, then the bureaucratic things, then the formalities and all those things come. I think most of us are trained as activists. So we thought, बाद में सब देखा जाएगा, police वाला आएगा, देखा जाएगा, पहले जान बचाओ. So we did not waste any time on that. Though we a lot of things, I was getting worried because there are a lot of technicalities and a lot of legalities that were being discussed over here. And I was mentally making a note. I need to ask my people in the association whether we are at least maintaining some sort of records or just simply coming. But yes, we have a very robust system over here. We did make, and we have some system in place, whereby we ask for the doctor's prescription, we ask for the report, we ask for the Aadhaar card of the patient. And I must also say we ask for 20,000 rupees deposit also. Yes. And that 20,000 rupees deposit is a returnable, which doesn't go into our bank account. It simply remains, the check remains with us. The more the concentrator or the other equipment comes back, we return that check to the person. But I'm glad to say, I'm very glad to say, many of the people who come back, they don't accept that check back. They consider it as a sense of gratitude towards the efforts, and they donate it to the association at that time, which is again a very great and very nice gesture from those.
Thank you, Kamalji. That is such a great advice on how you're planning the whole Noida operation. We have to go to Jammu now, and we have Jalali Saab here from Helpline Humanity. Jalali Saab again needs no introduction, a lifetime of community service. Jammu is a hotbed at the moment after Delhi. You know, it is a big worry. And the Helpline Humanity, as usual, has been doing a lot of work. Jalali Saab, do you want to fill in?
Yes. At the start, I want to thank GKPD for doing yeoman's job for uniting the entire community. This has the effect that even in Jammu, we have lots of fragmented groups. They too are all united with one mission, जान बचानी है. यही mission हमारे पास जगती में भी है. क्योंकि since I am more focused at जगती, वहाँ हमारा mission है कि दाम साम दंड भेद जान बचानी है. So we started with awareness drive. हमने traditional way of awareness किया by drum beating, putting the volunteers on security with mics on, making the inhabitants of Jagti aware of masking and social distancing. Thereafter, we have a liaison with testing authorities. Whosoever is declared positive, immediately he is being handed over with COVID kit and with set of directions what he or she has to follow. Then he is being given continuous support by way of oximeters, thermometers, and all other things. And we are already providing them the telephone numbers. In case your oxygen level comes down, please do not hesitate, immediately call us. This is how we operate at Jagti with consonance with other workers, other volunteers, so that the task is completed and we ensure no more deaths. Rest, we had some concerns that have been already covered in the earlier session, which has been conducted by Dr. Surinder ji. This is all I had to share with you. And one
Thank
thing I
you.
want to share
Thank
with you
you.
that we are
Thank you.
planning to do mass level sanitization. क्योंकि जगती में क्या है, वहाँ बिल्डिंग कंजेस्टेड है, एक फ्लैट में फैमिली पॉजिटिव हो गई, देन वहाँ पर पूरी बिल्डिंग को सैनिटाइज करना है. This is our next agenda. Maybe we'll do it in a couple of days time.
Thank you, Jalani sir. Thank you so much. And now we have a Mr. Nakhasi here who has been, he's a ground level work. You know, there's people who are active on the ground, and there's people who manage situations. There's people like me who are abroad and trying to help. So everybody is needed. Everybody has an important role. But we have, but ground workers are really important at this stage. So Mr. Rajan Nakhasi is from Delhi. Rajanji, namaskar. Do you want to, I mean, we had Nimfia earlier, and you know, she talked a bit about how volunteers on the ground are working. And of course, you are one of those. Do you want to share your experiences with us, please?
Namaskar. Thank you so much. So I do to a chance one khatre. Otherwise, I have been waiting for almost 2.5 hours now. Thank you so much for making me wait, testing my patience. Although I'm not patient. Anyway, thank you so much. We have been, we are not an organization, nor do I belong to any establishment. We are just a team of around 30 people who got collected around 10th of April. And we started with a team that we should help. Initially, the motto was to help with food. And it was not confined to food only. From food, we switched over to medicines, splendors, hospital beds, concentrators. The first concentrator we purchased on 17th. Thanks, Nirja. She gave me the number in India. And till date, I have been purchasing concentrators from him only. Today, I got 2. Those are lying in my drawing room. It's not about concentrator, or it's not about hospital bed or cylinder or medicine or this thing. We have been counseling patients. We have been taking every pain to go with the patient to the hospital. There are organizations. Thank you, Kamal Haqji. He's Big Brother. They have been doing first class work in Noida, or Utpal ji hai. Everybody has been doing everybody's contribution. But we, not being an organization or an establishment, still could afford to collect 20 lakh rupees within the team. We have not received 1 single rupee from outside. And if anybody proves it, I am responsible. We have 18 concentrators as on date, as a team, not as an organization. We have 50 cylinders with us, which out of which we are we'll be shifting some on Thursday to Jammu. We'll be shifting some concentrators. We'll be shifting some medicine to Jammu, because we are now focusing on Jammu. And Jagti, Jalali Saab se, I would request Jalali Saab, if you are paying so keen interest in Jagti, please, I will help you, sir. Please arrange for an ambulance in Jagti. They don't have an ambulance. The patient dies for want of transportation to the hospital. Thanks, Veer Kharji. You have been doing wonderful job. You have been so kind. I'm thankful we spoke in between, and you have distributed money to different organizations because they needed it the most. Normally, हम लोग contribute नहीं करते हैं, but whenever I try to reach an organization, I'm sorry to say, Surinder ji ने एक दिन मेरे को बोला था, Rajan ji, share your account details with me. I'll transfer some money, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm not here to cross question anybody or question anybody why money was not given. We don't need money. We wanted blessings. We wanted an affiliation, so that we could also tell people that we belong to an organization, or we are affiliated with such and such organization. We have been working not only, I live in Ghaziabad. Meri team is working from Jammu to Pune, and we have been helping people with money, and we have already started. Primarily, we are focusing on Jammu, and simultaneously we are focusing on those people, those families who have lost someone or the other. Jaise Kamal ji ne bola, they have enough money into their association, but we have no money. but we still could give, I'm sorry, we are nobody to give, but we could help at least 12 families till date for the last 1 week, provide them with whatever assistance we could. They need post-COVID treatments. They need food. They need hygienic and healthy food. Who will go out and buy? Today, I got an inquiry from Jammu. We picked up the material from Vitasta Hospital. I don't live in Jammu. I still managed. I'll show you. Dr. Shubhra sent me a message from New Zealand, and we did it. This is only if you want to do. God helps those who really want to help anybody. So we are there. We are part of the community. I am a proud Kashmiri Pandit, really a proud Kashmiri Pandit. And whatever we have earned, Veer ji ne abhi mere se baat kar rahe the. I thank you, Veer ji. We said ki if we are capable of doing something, money is not a big deal. The other day I was talking to my sister. I said, even if I have to sell my house, I will do it to save 100 lives. I don't want to count on the achievements what we have done, but at the end of the day, I feel satisfied that we could save a number of lives. You will not believe, this is really unbelievable. My team has till date had at least 1,000 patients, and 95% we could save. I can share any time on your website or in your web email, the number of SMSs, the number of messages we get. But that is an encouragement for us to do more and more for the community. We don't want help, we want help. We don't want help simultaneously, we want help. We want to be affiliated to anybody. I am at Kashmiri Pandit, you are an organization. If I am affiliated to you, initially GKPD wanted me to take in, there were some parishani with somebody. So that is not to be discussed. That is not to be discussed. Discussion is, if there is a Kashmiri Pandit, if there are 5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits, why not affiliated with each other? Why not affiliate them with each other? Why Rajan Nakhazi works separately as a team? Why not as a member of GKPD or KOA or Jagtiwala ya Roopji or Kyamu Saab? So we all should come together on one thing. But definitely, there is no doubt, even if there are 10,000 organizations in a community of 5 lakh people. But yes, the goal should be one, we have to save lives. But we should at least affiliate. We should not say कि Rajan Nakhazi एक team है जी, हम उनको जानते नहीं है, they are not reliable. And give me one single example who has contributed more than us. Give me one single example who has more number of concentrators than us. It is not a matter of concentrator or paisa or something. We go out. I have been virtually मेरे घर में daily basis पे लड़ाई होती है that will not let you go out. बट फिर भी गाड़ी स्टार्ट करी, मैं कभी शारदा हॉस्पिटल जा रहा हूँ, कभी एसजेएम हॉस्पिटल जा रहा हूँ, कभी मैक्स हॉस्पिटल जा रहा हूँ. व्हाई? आई एम नॉट अ फूल, बट यस आई हैव द अंदर से जो खुरक बोलते हैं टू हेल्प माय कम्युनिटी, बिकॉज वी हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू डू एनीथिंग फॉर द कम्युनिटी फॉर लास्ट 30 years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I don't mean anything, but we always now I'll come to a very actual point. We all talk about we have saved lives, we have given medicine, we have done this. Did anybody speak about cremation part? No, because we don't want to go near to the dead body. We don't want to go. We talked about Dar family. I'll post an audio recording between Soni Dar's attendant, that 17-year-old boy, and me, directing him to meet Dr. Niranjan in Sharda Hospital, so that he said, Uncle, wo bichari bahut zyada pareshan ho rahi hai. I talked to Niranjan, Dr. Niranjan. He said, we have put her on ventilator, but she is not covering up. Another half an hour, I got the message from Dr. Niranjan, she died. And who arranged for the cremation? I want to ask everybody. Nobody comes. Deep ji hai, there is a gentleman called BL Deep. BL called Deep. उनसे पूछ लीजिए, उन्होंने मेरे को मैसेज किया, राजन जी, you have to come and do it. मैंने कहा, राजन जी is there, don't worry. Give me half an hour. We cremated the bodies within half an hour. And he wrote this much bigger a message. Thank you very much. I said, I don't require thank you very much. But I simultaneously wept कि मेरे से क्या काम हो रहा है? Am I bloody meant for cremation of people? We have suffered as a community. We have lost more than 400 people every day. मेरे को संजय पेशेंट को सारे जानते हैं. Sanjay patient calls me, Sushuk Shamshan Raz, because you arranged. Roxy ki mother ki death ho gayi. I arranged for the cremation in Uttam Nagar. Somebody dying, I arranged for cremation in Dwarika. Why people back out that time? It's not a matter of concentrator or a cylinder. Nobody taught. You guys are big stalwarts of the community. I understand you guys are staying in America. Somebody in Pune. I stay in a very small place called Ghaziabad. But Ghaziabad has maximum number of Kashmiri Pandits. Shalimar Garden में 2000 families है sir. Pratap Vihar में there are approximately 100 families. So this is the largest chunk of Kashmiri Pandits. Who served Pratap Vihar? Who served Kashmir Shalimar Garden? Now Vinodji was himself. Vinodji must be here. वो बेचारे खुद बीमार थे. I talked to him a number of times. मैंने कहा hospital के लिए I'll sponsor 25. Vinodji सुन रहे हैं? I said I'll sponsor 25 mattresses, 25 beds for the any place you start. But
thank you so much, Rajesh.
We have to do it. We have to do it, ma'am. I'm sorry. I took maximum time because I have been waiting for 2.5 hours.
No,
Anyway, please continue. Please continue. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, it's not apology, but thank you so much. But yes, we should pump in whatever the last sentence will be, because we have another cluster of Kashmiri Pandits who are below the normal level. They live in Jagti. Nobody. एक जगती है, there are more families who cannot afford medicine, even who cannot afford their sham ka khana. We could not reach them. This is the unfortunate part. If we talk on the webinar, we talk on the phone, or we talk over the whatever, but it doesn't reach a common man. We would definitely like to reach common man.
So
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The point of having the webinar is to get people together. See, when there is a war, you need generals and you need foot soldiers.
I do understand, but
you need IT staff, and only when they all work together, tabhi kuch hoga.
But please direct your IT staff to go to the ground and talk to soldiers. Please direct your generals. Please talk to your rank holders to talk to the soldier, so that he reaches every soldier in the ground, in the battlefield.
Well, the effort is on, and today was part of
Let's
the
hope.
It is second.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Second.
Let's hope.
So कहीं तो शुरू करना है. अब कहीं शुरू ही नहीं करेंगे तो कहाँ पहुँचेंगे?
That is why I said better late than never.
तो कहीं तो शुरू करना है. तो आप आए आज. Thank you for. I know you are very busy. 2 hours is a very long time for a ground.
Honestly, I have my other phone. वो भी चल रहा है. I get off the line and talk to people.
Thank you. But you will be pleased to know that there are a lot of people. आपने Shalimar. I have personally come across so many volunteers like you. They are doing so much groundwork. So together we will win. On that note,
Definitely.
I would like to invite Roop Krishan Ranaji. Everybody has been waiting them. I guess this webinar is just going much. It's very interesting. We have to do this. Manthan karna hai, and then we'll read somewhere. So Roop Krishan Ranaji, please come in. So Roopji, you're on mute. आप mute पर है. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, we still can't hear you, Roop Krishan ji. So we can't hear you. So we'll try and get Roopji. So in the yeah, can we hear Roopji now? No. So in the meantime, we have Dilip Matuji, who's
Dilip Matuji ko bula lijiye.
Dilip Matuji is from Jammu Kashmir Vichar Manch. We had Sanjay Ganjuji earlier from there. So Dilip ji, namaskar. Jammu Kashmir Vichar Manch, obviously at the forefront always of doing community work. Do you want to add something to what has already been discussed?
No, I think most of the things are already discussed. And we have got into the detailing, and without wasting more time, we will be looking forward to the equipment to reach us. and try to save as many people as possible, because we have already got a little bit late in procurement. Now that all those hassles are over, I hope the things reach us in time and we are able to get into action and then try to save as much as possible. So nice of you. Thank you. It's a great work being done. Congratulations to the whole community for coming together and doing this shoulder to shoulder. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Matu sir. So, Arup Krishna ji, आपका mic ठीक हो गया? Do you want to unmute yourself?
हमारा आवाज है योन मारा?
हाँ, आन मर, वही.
नमस्कार हमारा सारनी, वो सारनी उन बहुत अच्छा लगा और इस युद्धन वनान से आज शुभ बकलन ये साइनिक कम्युनिटी उनके कहरे उत्मतन और हम सारे एक झंडे के नीचे आ रहे हैं और वी आर ट्राइंग टू सेव आवर कम्युनिटी. बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. आई एम एसोसिएटेड टू बोजान सोरे, आई एम आल्सो एसोसिएटेड टू जम्मू कश्मीर विचार मंच, जो दिलीप जी भी बैठे हैं, उत्पल कोल जी भी है. तो मैं रूहनी में रहता हूं, तो रूहनी में हमने थोड़ा सा अभी भी हमने एक वॉलंटियर्स टीम बताया, हमारा एक ट्रस्ट है यहाँ पे हमने बनाया कुछ साल पहले. तो उसी ट्रस्ट के बैनर तले हमने भी शुरू किया कि कम्युनिटी का पहुंचे, चाहे खाने से या परचेज सम ऑक्सीमीटर्स. तो ये कोशिश चल रही है कि जो नीडी है उनके पास हम पहुंच जाए. बस यही कोशिश भी है और लोग जुड़ भी रहे हैं. वी आर रीचिंग, दिस इज आवर मोटो. और मेन मोटो ये है कि एक साथ काम करें ताकि जो आगे वाले जो पीरियड है हमारी कम्युनिटी के लिए, जो बेचारे ये मुसीबत में फंस गए, उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना है एंड हाउ वी कैन असिस्ट देम. मतलब जो जो उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट होगी जिस हिसाब से, जैसे किसी का ब्लड डोनर चला गया, ये तो उस चीज के लिए रोड मैप बनाना है. उसके लिए हम सारे काम, आपने जो रोड मैप ऑलरेडी बनाया है उस चीज को हमने आगे देखना है, इस कम्युनिटी को कैसे बचाना. बाकी थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, Rup ji. So next is we are just running out of Sanjay Bhattacharya ji. He's from Jaipur and he has been associated with GKPD for a long time. Sanjay ji, do you want to quickly come in? Sanjay Bhattacharya ji. I think he's left his thing on. So while we're waiting for him, we have Aryan Ramesh ji from Jammu. Aryan ji, namaskar. You have been waiting.
नमस्कार ना. मैं वननाज के.
हाँ जी बोलिए.
हाँ मैं वननाज के मैं बोजनाज डॉक्टर साहब ने बोला था मेरे को इस सेशन अटेंड करने के लिए. तो मैंने सुना, बहुत काम किया. जो जितने भी पैनलिस्ट थे उन्होंने अपने बारे में बताया, जो भी कुछ किया उन्होंने कम्युनिटी के लिए. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. वाकई आप लोगों का इतना कम्युनिटी के प्रति इतना करना, मतलब बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. तो वाकई जम्मू में बहुत सारे वॉलंटियर्स ग्रुप काम कर रहे हैं. ग्लोबल कश्मीर डायस्पोरा ने टाइमली उन ग्रुप्स के साथ कांटेक्ट करके एक अच्छा मौका दिया और काफी लोग यहाँ पर इस वक्त जुड़े हुए हैं ग्लोबल कश्मीर डायस्पोरा के साथ और काम भी कर रहे हैं. तो हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं जितने भी वहां से कंसेंट्रेटर्स या दूसरे इक्विपमेंट्स या मेडिसिन आएंगे, वो पूरी कम्युनिटी को जहां जहां पे जिसकी जरूरत होगी वहां पर वो पहुंचे. तो इसको हम देख रेख कर रहे हैं अच्छी तरह से. और कुछ शिकायतें थी, जैसे कुछ मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन पहले से थी, अभी कंसेंट्रेटर्स आए नहीं थे, तो लोगों में ये आया हुआ था कि ग्लोबल कश्मीर पंडित क्यों इन्हें काफी सारा इधर जम्मू में भेजा हुआ है, तो वो लोगों को मिल नहीं रहा है. लेकिन आज थोड़ा क्लियर हो गया, अभी वो रास्ते में है, पहुंचने वाला है. हम भी जो हमको भी कांटेक्ट कर ले, हमको बोलेंगे कि आगे किसी को भी जरूरत होगी किसी चीज के लिए, इन संस्थाओं को कांटेक्ट करके यहाँ से आपको मिल सकता है. बाकी धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया.
Thank you, Aryan ji. So I think we have Sanjay ji has. Oh, Sanjay ji is here. Yes, Sanjay ji, we were looking for you. Can you unmute yourself? Sanjay ji is from Jaipur and he's going to tell us what's going on in Jaipur.
Thank you very much. Mara booze we kind sarni hun bada asal mon luko. Actually one like point zyada kiya. But at the same time I would request only one thing. This tempo shirt ये जो अभी हम जिस speed से जा रहे हैं, जिस enthusiasm से अभी हम चल रहे हैं, this should go on. Show should go on like this only forever. It is not that we get concentrators, we get medicine, we get this thing and then we forget about it. So we have to be united together for each and everything, for the prosperity of our community. Not only for this Bhagwan Achan Unken's problem, we say Sari Lukan. I mean, Patacha is Unken, my side of board chichu, then Pacha Sambalun Mara, actually Yakjapaku. That is what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Sanjay ji, absolutely. So I think we have finally covered everything. It's been a marathon, 2.5, but it was really needed. In case anybody has been missed out, I guess Murphy did. We will now come to Utpal ji. Utpal ji is our India International Everything Coordinator. So he's going to close the meeting and thank everybody on behalf of GKPD.
Staff, just an introduction. I think we have Ajay Chaudhary ji from.
Ajay Chaudhary ji, Ajay ji, did you want to speak? Oh, sorry, I missed you.
Namaskar. Namaskar, Mara Sarni. I think I have not contributed as such. I have been just coordinating, and credit goes to you, all people who have been doing wonderful job. And hats off to the people who have boots on the ground in India. They are much more, valuable assets to all of us. I just appreciate and hats off to everybody. Things have to be done more seriously. More challenges will be in future, and we have to see that orphans of our community are not strayed. They are taken care of by us, and we don't let other people to take care of them. Our own community should take care of our children who have lost their guardians or parents. So we have to create a network for that. And plus, a lot of things have to be done for in the coming future in this regard. Thank you very much, Mara.
Thank you, Ajay ji. Ajay ji, for those, everybody knows him, but those who don't, he's a GKPD coordinator for Europe, and he's based in Germany. So Utpal ji, it's over to you now to close the meeting. So on my behalf, thank you all for joining. It's been a really, really very informative session. And we'll close with Utpal ji's remarks. Like I said, Utpal ji needs no introduction, so I will just open.
One second, I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
I wanted to make sure that everybody spoke. Did Rana Sahab spoke? Roop Kishan ji, Helpline Humanity, Jalali Sahab spoke.
Surinder ji, we did.
We tried. I think everybody has spoken.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now here is the man. We were punishing Utpal ji.
Yes.
So go ahead.
You see, it is a historical moment, historical situation for all of us globally and all of us in our community. I have seen each and every aspect, each and every day, what happened in 89, 90. And I remember the same thing is happening now. It is second type of exodus, and it is a second type of terrorism this time. And although I must say it clearly, I don't see it as some corona infection. It's a biological war on India, and we have to fight it out, and we have to win this. So coming to my own community, I may tell you, like in 1990, we stood up. And this time also, each and every person is on his legs. And so I request on behalf of community to all leaders of our organizations to open their purses, open their bank accounts. It is emergency. We can wait for constructions. We can wait for cultural things. We can wait for other political activities. We need help. We have to save lives. That is the most important thing this time. I salute, I thank very much to all our ground workers. They are on, it is a risk, and they are ready to sacrifice everything, this time their own lives, their families, but they are reaching to trying to reach each and every person. I thank everyone from KOE to JKPD International, all those people from Mottu Sahab in US, Rakesh ji, Bhushan Khushu, second Rakesh ji, Ashish ji, Archana Kashru ji, our own Dr. Surinder Kaul, and people around the world like Veer Kharji, he's here, Ash Rana ji, Shafalika ji, Nirja ji, and all our workers doing, volunteers doing great service to the community. And I told him, minnat, hum kisi ko minnat nahi hai ye, but we have to appreciate each and everybody's contribution, how they have sleepless nights, like Virender ji, how he was coordinating each and every effort. And we will make it sure that we will have a campaign now for vaccination. And I have Rakesh ji, I have devised a unique method that we will call physically everyone to make sure whether they are vaccinated or not. Because as we know, we will have vaccination will save our lives. Mask and social distancing will save our lives. So we have to make it sure everyone is vaccinated. And Rakesh, I tell you that even in the when I went for vaccination, me and my wife, or when Aditi went, it is very comfortable. Government has provided it free. And it is there are hundreds of centers, very comfortable in Delhi NCR. There is no crowd, there is no problem. But only thing is those careless people who don't go for vaccination, we have to motivate them and we have to make them active, go and get your vaccination done. So it is too late. And on behalf of all of you, I assure community that GKPD and our alliance partners are ready to do anything and everything for community, for medical equipment, to help financially, and to moral support to each and everyone. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Acha, Shafalika ji, just 1 second. Before we close this session, does anyone have any last points, anything to add? No? Okay, by the way, I would like to conclude on a very positive note that the whole community is coming forward to help during this humanitarian things, crisis within the community. Many people have donated. KOA, lot of US members, non-members have donated gracefully to KOA, and they are doing a very great job utilizing it where it has to be used. I don't know if I should say, but I felt really proud. I can give you an example. We have Ratan Khosaji. Rakiji, why don't you say if you feel like, because I'm not authorized, you are privy to it. I think such things has to come to the fore, and community needs to know how people are coming forward to help. Rakiji, can you say if you feel like?
No, I more than feel like it. So that's a good note to conclude. I'll certainly do a lot more that I'll discuss with you, Sundarji, later in the day regarding Ratan Khosaji. So I've known Ratan Khosaji for about 20 years. Our friendship started because he and I are both alma maters of the University of Chicago. The MBA program. He went there after me. He is based in Chicago. He has been a great philanthropist, and he established not only a scholarship that would go to a Kashmiri Pandit who's qualified to do an MBA program, but also established a chair. And, those are big, big, big donations. He had talked to Archana ji, and then I called him up, and he came into the GKPD KOA Joint Task Force meeting. He was very powerfully affected by the work that our Joint Task Force was doing. And so he called me back and said, and I hope, and I'll tell him to watch the show, because I think it will show him what every Kashmiri Pandit is doing spontaneously. But he called me back. He said he was very moved by it, and that he would go ahead and make a donation to this campaign. And then he sent an email, and it just exceeded all expectations. I'm delighted to share that he has decided to donate, and I think the check has already been received by now, $200,000 to this task. And I'm privy to some of his thinking in terms of the big heart that he's bringing to our community. And let us just wait for that to take shape. But Surinderji, you and I will discuss later on this evening, along with Mohan Manchu, some ideas on how we can recognize appropriately at the worldwide community level what frankly is a trailblazing step. And it's a message that should go to every Kashmiri Pandit, whether it's in Jagti, whether it's in Pune, whether it is in Bangalore or Ghaziabad, that we stand together. We are together and we will win. We are there for you. And for those who have lost their lives, we are there for their children. We're going to take care of them. And we are going to make sure that the community is together, caring and sharing. We're part of one family.
Can I say something, Surinderji?
Yes.
I think all said and done, we have done a praise for whatever has been achieved so far. But I think we need to remember one more thing. For last 31 years, nearly 60,000 of our youth have been trained. They are engineers, doctors, professors, all sorts of people. And we all fought for them that they should get into these trainings and all that. This 60,000 strong force needs to be reached, and we must put some sort of at least 10,000 rupees, at least contribute karo. It can be a huge sum. Not only the sum is important, it is the involvement of those people. I think we need to focus on this big way, involving all our youth and giving them a feeling that this battle has to be carried on. Thank you.
Yes, that's an important note. Well, on this note, what Rakesh ji, on a very positive note about Ratan ji, definitely he has an asset, but we should not forget about hundreds of volunteers who may not have donated, who are giving their time, who are giving their energy, who are giving everything. That is also equally much more important. While we celebrate donors, other than Ratan Kosaji, there have been a lot of other people who have been donating, opening their hearts, but volunteers and those who are spending their enormous times, that is also very important on the other side of the spectrum. So let community, God bless community, God bless India, God bless Indians. On this note, we will fight this pandemic together. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Bye-bye.
Pause.